last night. Storms at 6:03.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Maria Aquino. The new St. Louis County Police 2nd Precinct bears the name of a fallen officer.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Intervals of clouds and sun today. A shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, high 66.
What an incredible win for the Cardinals. We'll go through the ninth inning and how they pulled that off last night in Pittsburgh. It's on the way at 6:15. It's 6.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump and the First Lady want a late-night talk show host fired after remarks he made a couple of days before the Correspondents' Dinner shooting over the weekend. Now, Jimmy Kimmel's responded.
During his monologue last night, Kimmel explained his joke Thursday that Melania Trump has the glow of an expectant widow was a joke about the president's age.
It was not by any stretch of the definition a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence.
Most fans outside his show had Kimmel's back.
Trump goes on TV and says stuff about everybody. You know what I mean? Even the Pope.
I mean, we're on the brink of a global economic disaster, and this guy is worried about Jimmy Kimmel.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
No comment yet from ABC's parent company Disney, which suspended Kimmel last year over his comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. The suspect in Saturday night's shooting is facing multiple charges, including the attempted assassination of President Trump. There are calls for an investigation into security. CBS's Ed O'Keefe at the White House.
The Secret Service director was up on Capitol Hill to meet with senior lawmakers to answer some questions about what exactly happened, and that the Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, over here, is set to lead a review of what went wrong on Saturday night, what went right, and what might have to be changed or enhanced going forward.
King Charles will address a joint session of Congress today. Some of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers are renewing their calls for FaceTime with the monarch before he leaves the U.S. Artist Rena O tells the BBC,
"We're not asking for an investigation at this time. We are asking him to acknowledge us as survivors, to hear our stories, to meet us in person."
Tornadoes, hail, high winds and flooding slammed the Midwest overnight, leaving 300,000 homes and businesses without power, tearing others to shreds. This woman lives in Milwaukee.
Just because a tree is so big, you'd think it was rooted down pretty well, but I guess Mother Nature had other plans.
There's more potential danger to come. CBS meteorologist Tony Sadiku.
This time, the heart of the severe weather right along the I-20 corridor. You're thinking Dallas, Shreveport, all the way to Jackson, Mississippi. That stretches north, Little Rock, Memphis. By the way, Nashville, parts of Alabama, you could be in the thick of it as well.
Wildfires in southeast Georgia have now destroyed at least 87 homes. Governor Brian Kemp.
We looked at all the records going back historically with the state. We believe that these two fires have created the most lost homes ever in the history of our state.
Gas prices up to an average $4.17 a gallon today. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
It is 6:03. We've got cloudy skies and 55 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Thousands of Ameren customers in Missouri and Illinois are still in the dark this morning. Over 5,600 Illinois customers are still without power. That number is small in comparison to over 21,000 Missouri customers who still don't have power, with the bulk of those outages being reported in St. Louis County.
Ameren crews are still working as they get the lights back on for about 8,000 Missouri customers in the past hour. At the peak of last night's storm, 32,000 customers in Missouri, 16,000 in Illinois were without power.
The Missouri Rural Water Association has awarded its highest honor for the best tasting water in the state.
Jefferson County Public Water Supply District Number 2 took top honors in this year's Show Me Tap Water Roundup contest. It'll now compete in the nationwide Great American Water Taste Test next February to determine which state has the best tasting water. Sue Danielson, Missouri Net.
A plea deal has been reached in the case of the driver who struck 6 people at the Ted Drew's Christmas tree lot in December 2024. Rasul Al-Janabi pleaded guilty to leaving the scene and will avoid a conviction on his record if he completes 5 years of probation, according to the Post-Dispatch. His attorney called it clearly an accident, saying surveillance footage didn't initially capture a car that had suddenly stopped in front of him. All 6 people who were hit survived.
St. Louis County Police Chief Kenneth Gregory joined community leaders to cut the ribbon on the new Mid-County Public Safety Complex in Maryland Heights.
The complex is named in honor of fallen St. Louis County Police Detective Antonio Valentine.
On December 1st, 2021, Detective Antonio Valentine was killed in a vehicle accident while trying to pursue a felony suspect. A day that I will never forget because it happened within the first 5 months of me being named the acting chief of the St. Louis County Police Department. No chief wants on their resume the fact that they lost an officer killed in the line of duty.
The facility will house Police Precinct 2, along with the Fusion Intelligence Center, Criminal Intelligence, the Regional Information and Intelligence Center, and Property Control. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
If you have an old traffic ticket from St. Louis County, you may soon be getting a letter.
It's an offer to avoid fees and penalties on your license if you take an education class.
It allows our prosecutors to focus on violent crimes, to not spend a lot of court time on traffic tickets.
St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Melissa Price-Smith tells KMOX's Total Information AM the office is facing a backlog of more than 6,000 old tickets going back 5 years. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The program does not include any serious traffic offenses like DWIs or high-speed offenses.
It's being marketed as the area's largest contiguous development opportunity. More than 1,000 acres of farmland in Hazelwood. PJW Investments is asking $45 million for the land on Aubuchon Road next to Hazelwood Tradeport Industrial Park. Joe Schneider of real estate firm Schneider Commercial tells the Business Journal that this scale is a rarity in St. Louis County.
From the KMOX business desk, for many, this summer will be one to hit the Mother Road, Route 66. The nationwide celebration of the iconic road's 100th anniversary stretches from Chicago to Santa Monica and, of course, comes through St. Louis. For collectors, there's now Route 66 trading cards available at stops along the way, including the National Museum of Transportation in Kirkwood.
The museum's exclusive card features Bobby Darin's dream car, a one-of-a-kind custom vehicle designed by Andrew D. Dia and donated to the museum in 1970. Trading cards are available for purchase at the museum for $1 each through the end of the year.
It is 6:07. We'll take a break and then we'll take a look at the roadways. Maybe some standing water, maybe some tree branches. Who knows what's out there after those storms rolled through, but we'll also take a look at the forecast as well. Stay with us here on KMOX.
If you need a garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of your choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code WAGON for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WAGON for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's WAGON.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Hey, it's 6:09. It's time to talk to Roger Brand. What's going on out there, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center?
Well, right now, traffic's in good shape, Tom. I'm not seeing any issues so far, even in the work zones. I would imagine there's going to be more volume today than yesterday. Yesterday morning was very light, and yesterday afternoon, the drive home was amazingly clear. We just had that one problem on Wright City where the heavy storms moved through and flooded out the westbound lanes there. They had the left lane closed all rush hour long, so that was the only place we had a backup on an interstate at all in the afternoon. So this morning, I would expect to see more traffic, but right now, even in the construction zones on the south side, where you usually see the first slowdowns, things are looking good for you. So 55 northbound approaching 141 up to the Merrimack, where you have that lane restriction there, north of Bayless, everything's in good shape. 270 at Ladue, everything's good to go both ways. 70 coming in from out Warrenton way, you're okay. You mentioned earlier, and we covered in the news, storm damage and cleanup still going on up in North County in that Ferguson-Delwood area, so there may be some streets where there's still down trees, limbs, power lines, what have you, so you may find some restrictions, and they're advising, non-local traffic to avoid that area while they try to get the rest of that all cleaned up and squared away. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Today will be much cooler than recent days, with intervals of clouds and sun. Be on guard for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, high 66. Cloudy early tonight with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm for a while, then lingering clouds late tonight and becoming breezy, though 51. Tomorrow will turn out partly sunny, breezy, cool, high 64. The cool day Thursday, sunshine mixing with clouds, high 65. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Mostly cloudy, 55 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
Well, you just never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. What a game last night for the Cardinals in Pittsburgh. We'll have it for you at 6:15. At 6:11, there's a new bill before the St. Louis County Council to repeal the ordinance that requires the county executive to notify the council chair before leaving the continental United States. Councilwoman Gretchen Bangert says instead of simply notifying the chair he'd be heading to London, Sam Page started an unnecessary and costly legal fight. She says she'd rather repeal the ordinance than continue litigation.
Bangert says last year, Page was traveling abroad when the devastating May tornado hit, and because he didn't inform the chair, it took considerable time before the chair knew Page was out of the country. She says she hopes future county executives will choose transparency.
Enjoy your new surroundings. You guys have a beautiful place to work out of. I know you'll get a lot done here. Enjoy it.
An extra special day for retiring St. Louis County Police Chief Kenneth Gregory. Senator Brian Williams released a little-known fact about Chief Gregory.
Our police chief, he has been an amazing father, grandfather to a phenomenal running back at the Los Angeles Rams, and esteemed quarterback. We had a conversation about them drafting a quarterback behind Matt Stafford, and if y'all don't know, Chief Gregory was an exceptional quarterback.
While Gregory was dedicating the new 2nd Police Precinct, his retirement this Thursday was not forgotten.
46 years of service Chief Gregory has given us. And almost 5 years ago, we called upon him when we needed a chief. And he served as our interim and then soon after became our chief. And under his watch, as Dr. Page said, we have had 3 brand new facilities like this that have opened. And what he didn't mention was also we have a early childhood center, only the second one in the country, by the way, to open for our officers. That was all under the watch of Chief Gregory.
An iconic athletic brand, which you may not have known even had a plant here, is handing out pink slips.
Nike is cutting 172 jobs at its Air Sole manufacturing facility in St. Charles County this summer. The company filed a WARN Act notice confirming the cuts at its Air Manufacturing Innovation plant on Research Park Drive in St. Charles. They'll take effect on June 26th. The cuts are part of a broader round of 1,400 layoffs Nike announced this week. The struggling athletic giant recently saw its stock stock hit an 11-year low after disappointing earnings and declining sales in China. The St. Charles facility has been a part of Nike's specialized manufacturing footprint in this metro area since 1995, making the air sole units that go into some of the company's most iconic shoes. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
You just never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. The Cardinals were getting no hit in this game last night into the 7th inning. Didn't have a hit 6 2/3 in. Well, things changed a little bit in the 9th. It's 2-0. The Cardinals are in Pittsburgh. This is the first NL Central game for them against the Pirates. And the batter is Pedro Pajes. John Rooney with the call on KMOX.
The next pitch. A swing, and there's a high fly ball. That's hit to deep left field. Back to the track, the wall. It's a goner. Pedro Pajes connects for his 3rd home run of the year, and the Cardinals are down by a run in the 9th inning.
How about that? It's a 2-1 game as Pajes circles the bases. Next batter, J.J. Weatherholt.
3-2, 1 out. The pitch is swung on. That's hit high. That's hit deep. Right center field. It might go. It's a goner. We're tied at 2 in the 9th inning. Back-to-back home runs by Pajes and J.J. Weatherholt.
Unbelievable, and they're not done. They're facing Dennis Santana, and he walks Ivan Herrera. Victor Scott II replaces him as a pinch runner. The batter is Alec Burleson.
Here's a little dribbler up the third base line, and it's going to come back fair. It's on the line, rolling on the line, still staying fair. The ball dies on the line. That's a base hit. The last 2 hits have been little dribblers up the third base line for Burleson. And there's Victor Scott II with all that speed in scoring position at second base.
Jordan Walker draws a walk. Victor goes to third. Burleson at second. Walker at first. And
here's Jose Fermin. A swing and a hit down the left field line. Fair ball! The ball rolls to the corner. 2 runs are going to score. And getting the stop sign at third base is Jordan Walker. Fermin 2 for 2 off the bench tonight. He has given the Cardinals a 4-2 lead in the 9th inning, and the Cardinals aren't finished.
And they win it by that count, 4-2. George Soriano shuts them down in the 9th inning, and the Cardinals score 4 in the top of the 9th and stun the Pirates. 4-2, manager Ollie Marmol.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy to start with. I mean, those guys did a really nice job, bullpen day, and they got a different arm coming in, some good velo, some tough at-bats, but we were able to stay in there and at the end put it together. But it's a fun group to watch, man. It's hard not to like these guys.
We'll talk about JJ in a second, but let's talk about the unexpected heroes. Let's start with Ryan Fernandez. 2 gigantic innings for you. You needed that. He needed that.
Yeah, we all did. And he came in there, punched out 4. Slider was good. Threw some changeups. Got a punch out with the fastball. Had good life to it. Just overall, man, that was a really good outing. One that's going to give him confidence moving forward.
And George with a save.
No doubt. Really good. Kept his composure in that situation there with the 2-run lead and made some really good pitches. So something to be proud of there for sure.
Jose Fermin, always smiling, always ready. 2 hits, 2 RBIs off the bench. What a lift that was.
Yeah, and this is a guy that makes a ton of contact. You lead him off there when they bring in the lefty, gets the single through the 6th hole, and then comes up in that big situation with the bases loaded and able to drive in too. So his skill set, I mean, speaks for itself. He's done a nice job whenever called upon, but that's a big hit there.
And not to bury the lead, but J.J. Weatherholt, the hometown kid, Hollywood ending, game-tying home run with all the friends and family here.
That's what it's all about right there, man. Petey hits a homer, and then he comes up and ties it with his, and that whole crowd, his whole section of family and friends here. That's special. That's a big swing for the young.
Our thanks to Chip Carey of Cardinals TV. Interview with Ollie Marmol. The Cardinals win it 4-2 over the Pirates. They're in the thick of it in the NL Central with a 15-13 record and 3 games out of first place. Checking the Stanley Cup playoffs, it was a win again for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They beat the Flyers 3-2, and the Flyers lead that series now 3-2. It's a 2-2 series, Vegas and Utah, with the Golden Knights winning on the road 5-4 in overtime last night. In the NBA, Orlando went up 3-1 on Detroit with a 94-88 win. Oklahoma City closed out Phoenix with a 4-game sweep, 131-122, and Denver held off Minnesota 125-113. Timberwolves lead that series 3-2. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Since we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see and hear lots of lawyer ads.
It seems that most are bragging on what they got their clients. But be careful. If you heard that someone sold their car for $500,000, you would be impressed. But if you later learned that it was a rare $10 million Ferrari, would you say that person got screwed? And that's before you even know if it's true. Who is fact-checking? And how much went to medical bills and lawyers' fees? If you want to get an idea what your case may be really worth, visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts. You will see what a law firm like ours is capable of. And fact-check for yourself. All that glitters is not gold. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won big, a lot. At Morgan & Morgan, we represent consumers. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you need some help with your outdoor space, I have a great suggestion for you. Just call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck can literally transform your outdoor space from the simplest project to the most complex. And I can say this because I also am a former customer of Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They built a fence for me probably, I don't know, is it 15 years now? It's hard to keep track because that fence is still standing and it still looks fantastic. So that, I'm telling you, is the real value with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. When they build it, it is quality and it will last for years to come. And you know what I'm talking about when you're looking at some other projects in your neighborhood that were done a year ago, maybe, and they're already falling apart. That's not happening with Chesterfield Fence and Deck because they've been in business for 58 years. They have an incredible reputation and thousands of satisfied customers. If you mention me, Debbie Monterrey, they'll take 20% off your next outdoor project. Stop by their beautiful showroom in the Chesterfield Valley, or they can come to you with free project design, free in-home estimates. ChesterfieldFence.com is where to find them online. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's check in with Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, starting to see some slow stuff on the south side now, Tom. If you're traveling up northbound Highway 55, you've got a little bit of a delay now. In fact, it's, let's say, a slowdown just briefly at McNutt. There's another heavy slowdown running from almost Richardson Road up to the Merrimack into that work zone, and a backup from Bayless up to Weber, and then slow from there to about Loughborough. So starting to bunch up in the work zones coming out of Jefferson County heading into St. Louis City on 55 right now. If you're taking North 270 from 55 up through Gravois, 44, both directions around Ladue, that all still looks great out west. We're still okay. A little slow southbound 61 at the 70-64 overpass, but once you get onto 70 or 64, they're both great runs out across the Missouri River bridges, and no delays downtown across the Poplar and Muswell Veterans bridges, although there is a slowdown, though, westbound 64 at 159 and eastbound 64, just a brief delay about midway up the hill from 157 to 159. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Let's talk about the weather. We really went through it yesterday. It's not going to be like that at all today. In fact, the rest of this forecast looks on the cool side and quite calm. We could see a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon and maybe a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around early tonight, but that's it. Nothing of the severe variety. Otherwise, today's going to be clouds and sun with a high of 66. Tomorrow, sun and clouds 64, 65 on Thursday, 61 on Friday, and 62 on Saturday. It's 56 out there right now.
Effort here with the Accountability Commission is to keep a record.
That's Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker talking about the Illinois Accountability Commission he created. The governor says this is to make sure there can be accountability.
By the way, some of it's already been used in court cases to limit what CBP and ICE are doing on the ground. We, of course, in Illinois have pushed back on the National Guard being allowed into our cities to enact this kind of immigration violence that the president has brought.
Pritzker tells CNN the Accountability Commission has already reviewed hours and hours of surveillance and body cam video and conducted dozens of interviews. The governor says the evidence proves this was never about public safety.
Remember that this country needs to bring peace to its politics, and that we need to just argue in the in the dialogue here about the issues.
That's Governor Pritzker when asked by CNN about his state of the state last year, when he compared the Trump administration to the rise of Nazis.
Remember, what I was talking about was the fact that a constitutional republic was torn apart in 53 days in Germany in the 1930s, and that we need to watch out for that in this country. That is what I was talking about. And we've seen it, by the way, that speech was given in February of 25. I think over the last year, much of what I said has been proven to be true.
Pritzker maintains the institutions of our democracy are being attacked by Republicans and President Trump.
I think the left has a real assassination culture problem right now.
Missouri Republican Senator Eric Schmidt making comments to C-SPAN following Saturday night's shooting attempt at the Correspondents' Dinner.
And we better start talking about it, and we better start resolving it. The Luigi left here, this is serious business.
Schmidt adds he does not see his Democratic colleagues trying to tone it down.
Emergency funding authorized by President Trump to pay airport security workers will run out by the end of next week, according to West Central Missouri Congressman Mark Alford.
And so that's why they've gotten paid up until now. But that money is running out.
Multiple media outlets report that TSA workers could miss their mid-May paycheck unless funding is restored. The Department of Homeland Security has been shut down financially since mid-February.
The Trump administration fired the entire National Science Board in an email yesterday. The board is an independent body that oversees the National Science Foundation, an unprecedented move that bypasses the board's normal 6-year staggered term structure. The White House provided no reason for the mass termination. Zoe Lofgren, a California congresswoman on the House Science Committee, Space and Technology, called it the latest stupid move made by a president who continues to harm science and American innovation.
St. Louis loses an internationally respected scientific leader.
Dr. Peter Raven, the botanist who spent nearly 4 decades transforming the Missouri Botanical Garden into one of the world's premier scientific institutions, has died. He was 89. Raven took the helm of the garden in 1971 when it was a modest local institution and built it into a global research powerhouse, now with nearly 500 staff and conservation programs that span 5 continents. He received the National Medal of Science from President Clinton in 2000, was named a MacArthur Fellow, and was called a hero for the planet by Time magazine. Beyond the garden, he co-founded the Danforth Plant Science Center, helped to establish St. Louis's sister city relationship in China, and spent decades warning the world about the accelerating loss of biodiversity. A celebration of the life of Dr. Peter Raven will be held at the Missouri Botanical Garden. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's 6:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Well, I parked at the Pierre Leclerc Center, and I was just excited to see it. The new MAC Clayton. The ribbon cutting was last week. We had some great dignitaries up there ready for that great moment. And when I took the elevator up to what was the old St. Louis Club, the elevator doors open, and was I happy with what I saw. I had not been in any of the construction, nor had I seen any of the renovations. I had only seen some pictures and video and heard them secondhand. But as a member of the MAC, it really was a proud moment because a lot of work has gone into this, and the MAC Clayton is now open to members and guests. It's located at the Pierre Leclerc Center in Clayton, 14th and 15th floors. 14th floor, the Herman Trophy Bar. Just really proud to say that. The Herman Trophy Bar. It is a reality, and it looks fantastic. Table 14, the casual restaurant, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on that 14th floor with a cigar room tucked in the back with a big screen TV to watch the games. And then up on the 15th floor, the Forest Park room overseeing Forest Park, downtown St. Louis, downtown Clayton. Fantastic place to dine with family, friends, colleagues. The MAC Clayton's going to be phenomenal for our club. The Missouri Athletic Club, mac-stl.org.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It is 6:30. We have mostly cloudy skies. Some sunshine, actually, now that I mention it. Here in downtown St. Louis, it's 55 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Yeah, it looks pretty good out there. Roger Brand, how does it look? Overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's getting a little busier, especially 55 drivers. That's where we're seeing the delays right now, Tom. It doesn't look bad. We had a brief slowdown in McNutt earlier, but it's still bogged down from almost Richardson Road up to the Merrimack into that work zone. The right lanes, Butler Hill up through Mattis are heavy, and it's a solid jam from about the Union Road overpass all the way up to River to Pear. Then it's still a little slow till you get to about Holly Hills. Then it opens up northbound 270 from 55 up through Gravois past 44. Just a little slow through 64 as you enter the work zone at Ladue, so that's not bad. There's more volume on southbound 61 right now as well. We'll call that slow from Highway P down to 64 or 70, but once you get on 64 or 70, they're both great runs across the Missouri River bridges. Eastbound Highway 30, there's a little heavy traffic coming into Gravois Bluffs, but not like the jam like we saw yesterday, and it's kind of slow running to 270. On the Illinois side, while west and eastbound 64 both have delays between 159 and 157. Brief duration, but there are backups both ways in those construction zones. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather-wise, it's just going to be much cooler this week. We'll be in the 60s pretty much this entire week. Now, we could see a shower or thunderstorm in the area this afternoon and maybe a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around early tonight. But that's it for the rest of the week. So if it's not raining or storming, it's just going to be clouds and sun today with a high of 66. Tomorrow, sun and clouds 64. Sun with clouds 65 on Thursday and 61 on Friday. 55 degrees out there now.
It's 6:32. Thousands of Ackerman customers in Missouri and Illinois are still in the dark this morning. Over 5,600 Illinois customers are without power. That number is small in comparison to over 21,000 Missouri customers who are still without power, with the bulk of those outages being reported in St. Louis County. Ackerman crews are hard at work as they turn the lights back on for around 8,000 Missouri customers in the past hour. At the peak of last night's storms, 32,000 customers in Missouri, 16,000 in Illinois were without power.
Ferguson City Manager Dave Musgrave says there is significant storm damage throughout Ferguson, but no injuries to report. At least 6 downed trees, including 2 that fell onto structures. 1 downed tree caused a gas leak at a local business. That area has been cordoned off and it had been closed to through traffic while Spire crews worked to secure the scene.
Musgrave said were addressing a critical situation in the area of Wesley and Ackerman. They want you to call the police non-emergency number to report any dangerous conditions, including downed power lines, flooding, and fallen trees. Power outages were reported along the West Florissant Business Corridor. Numerous power lines down throughout the city, and they're asking to please avoid travel in Ferguson.
We did get a lot of rain, and flood warnings are in effect across the St. Louis area. The Mississippi is already above flood stage at both Grafton and Winfield. The Merrimack threatens Arnold, cresting by Wednesday cresting near 29 feet Friday. The Quiver River is flooding near Troy and Old Monroe, and the Missouri at Herman is expected to flood tomorrow. Stay off of flooded roadways.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Who's been talking about St. Louis sports since 1985? Bernie Miklasz.
If someone would have came to you at the beginning of the season, beginning of the regular season, and said, hey, Jordan Walker's going to have more home runs, more RBIs, a higher OPS, higher batting average than Shohei Ohtani, what would you say?
Then said you're crazy.
I'll take it. He's having an incredible season. He really, truly is.
Bernie Miklasz. Hear what he has to say on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I went to Staples for a custom printed graduation banner and invites and saw that Party City is now at Staples.
Wait, what?
Party City is now at Staples.
So now Staples has balloons.
Yep.
Decorations.
Yes.
Streamers, cups, table covers.
Yep, Staples has everything for a party. And now buy two, get one free on select foil balloons.
Holy confetti! So the best party started at Staples.
That was easy.
In 613 select stores, exclusions apply. In-store or buy online. Pick up in-store only.
It is 6:35. Thanks for tuning in to Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey along with Tom Ackerman. We'll be getting you the latest on traffic and weather here in just about 4 minutes. But first, it's time for your Money Minute. It's sponsored by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. Verizon has been leaning hard on promotions, offering premium phones like the iPhone 17 Pro for free when you add a new line, or an internet package that throws in a Samsung TV. But that strategy is changing. Verizon says it will move away from offering customers a free phone as a primary solution for retaining them. Why is that? The company says it's expensive and doesn't always solve the customer's problem. Checking on the markets, the Federal Reserve kicking off its two-day policy meeting today. Officials are expected to leave interest rates unchanged when the gathering wraps up tomorrow afternoon. Ahead of that, S&P futures are down 8 points. However, Dow futures are rising 110. And market turmoil triggered by the Iran war led to a surge in profits at BP's oil trading operations. The energy major reported quarterly earnings that far exceeded analyst expectations. BP has been working to repair its balance sheet and has been shedding underperforming businesses. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Do you ever feel like people are mumbling more than they used to? Or maybe conversations at restaurants and family gatherings have gotten harder to follow? If this sounds familiar, it might be time to learn more about your hearing. That's why we're inviting you to a special lunch and learn at the Audiology Center. This event is on April 29th for various time slots. It's a relaxed and friendly gathering where our certified audiologists will talk about hearing and hearing loss, answer your questions, and share how today's hearing aids can help you connect with the moments that matter most. Hearing loss often happens slowly, and many people don't realize how much they're missing. It's important to know how untreated hearing loss can negatively affect you in the long term. It's a no-pressure event, just good conversation and good information, and lunch is on us. Seats are limited, so please call 636-441-7470 to reserve your spot for our free lunch and learn at the Audiology Center on April 29th. Take the first step towards hearing more clearly.
Cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The Biz Dash 5K, presented by Worldwide Technology, is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, this high-energy corporate race is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, fun, and unbeatable team bonding for companies of every size. Runners and walkers of all levels are welcome. It all comes together at Energizer Park Thursday, May 7th in downtown St. Louis, an office party like no other. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Tonight,
The Cards, the Pirates,
Cameron Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 6:39. King Charles III is scheduled to address a joint meeting of Congress today. CBS reports Shannon Felton Spence with the Harvard Belfer Center is a former British diplomat who says this state visit couldn't come at a more pressing time diplomatically. The king is expected to speak for about 20 minutes. This is only the second time a British sovereign has addressed a joint meeting of Congress. Queen Elizabeth II did it in 1991.
It's time for us to get you a check of the roadways and traffic and weather every 10 minutes on Total Information AM. Let's see what Roger Brand is seeing from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, some slow traffic on the south side right now, Debbie. This traffic reports a service at Chesterfield Fence and Deck as we build volume. We have slow going northbound 55 just north of Richardson up to the Merrimack. The right lane's a little busy at Madison. Then again, from almost Rivas Barracks now, there's heavy pockets up through Holly Hills, Virginia. North 270, both sides of Tesson Ferry are a little slow. Doherty Ferry up to Manchester. Clayton Road up to 64, a little busier there. Not quite as bad as southbound 61, but looks like there may be an incident just south of Highway P. It's sort of bunched up approaching P. And then south of there, it kind of thins out. And before you even get midway down to Wensville Parkway, you're back on track. Eastbound 70, a little busy right past Highway A. On the Illinois side, westbound 64, a couple of pockets. It backs up at 50, midway to 159, and then it's slow west of 159 after that. And westbound 64, west of 3rd Street to the Poplar, you've got heavier traffic as well. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. It looks like most of that storm activity is behind us, but you still have a little bit more in the forecast.
There's one more disturbance that has to come through the area, Tom, and that will do so late today and tonight. But it will be a far weaker feature in terms of active weather for us than what preceded it over the past 24 hours. It won't be as warm today. Clouds and some intervals of sun. Our high only gets to 66, and then as that next system approaches, there could be a couple of showers and a thunderstorm later this afternoon, and that continues through the first half of the night. Then it dries out late tonight. By morning, we're down to 51. Some sunshine tomorrow, a breezy, cool day, but rain-free, the high 64, and that should be the case into the weekend. Sunshine will mix with clouds Thursday, about 65. Little cooler Friday with clouds and some sun, the high 61. Or sunshine Saturday, but temperatures again only in the low 60s. Currently 56 at St. Peter's and in Florissant. Some sun getting through the clouds. It's 58 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, thanks, Joe. It is 6:42. Jimmy Kimmel defending himself after the Trumps are calling on ABC to fire him again.
During his monologue last night, Kimmel explained his joke Thursday that Melania Trump has the glow of an expectant widow was a joke about the president's age.
It was not by any stretch of the definition a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence.
Most fans outside his show had Kimmel's back.
Trump goes on TV and says stuff about everybody. You know what I mean? Even the Pope.
I mean, we're on the brink of a global economic disaster, and this guy is worried about Jimmy Kimmel.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The suspect in Saturday's attack at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Cole Allen, is charged with attempting to assassinate President Trump and attack other administration officials. But there are still unanswered questions about the attack at the annual event. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman has gone over charging documents.
Investigators still have some work to do here about really pinning down the timeline of what happened. They say that 5 of the shots that were fired were from the Secret Service. We don't yet know who fired the shot that actually hit the Secret Service agent, though.
And SA, a group of U.S. budget airlines, is asking the federal government for $2.5 billion in relief because they're facing climbing jet fuel prices. We get the latest from CBS's Chanel Call.
This group of budget air carriers that have made this ask include Allegiant, Avelo, Frontier, and Spirit. This isn't a bailout. This money, if it happened, would only be eligible to help them cover those rising fuel costs, the fuel surcharges that they've seen happen.
Test flights of electric air taxis are flying across New York City from JFK to 3 heliports in Lower Manhattan. CBS New York's Dave Carlin takes us for a ride.
He took off like a helicopter. He's now an airplane.
On its way with speeds up to 140 miles an hour. These electric air taxis are quiet with no emissions. If you are among the 4 passengers in one, this is what you see from the inside. And looking out, stunning views of landmarks for a flight between JFK Airport and Midtown under 10 minutes. Ride, glide, save time, according to leaders with Joby Aviation.
It's been in people's minds, the Jetsons for so long. And all of a sudden people say, this is real and it's happening.
Company leaders say they can match the prices of ride shares.
What a ride we went on last night in Pittsburgh. Who's Hot, Who's Not, sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens, and Making Memories. We saw both hot and cold yesterday. The Cardinals were ice cold to start the game. They didn't have a hit until the 7th inning. And in the 8th inning, they had a chance for a big hit. Here's Mason Wynn.
Now Mason Wynn with a 2-2 pitch coming his way, and a hot shot up the middle of the infield, backhanded by the shortstop or second baseman to the shortstop and on to first. Lau to Griffin to Horwitz, and that was a fancy, fabulous double play.
And that one hurt the Cardinals. They could not score until the 9th.
The next pitch, a swing, and there's a high fly ball. That's hit to deep left field. Back to the track, the wall. It's a goner. Pedro Pajes connects for his 3rd home run of the year, and the Cardinals are down by a run in the 9th inning. 3-2, 1 out. The pitch is swung on. That's hit high. That's hit deep. Right center field. It might go. It's a goner. We're tied at 2 in the 9th inning. Back-to-back home runs by Pajes and J.J. Weatherholt.
And KMOX's Matt Pauley, the Cardinals finish the job.
The Cardinals get their 10th come-from-behind win, scoring 4 in the 9th, beating the Pirates 4-2. They do not have their first base runner until Alec Burleson has an infield hit with 2 outs in the 7th, being shut out with 1 out in the 9th. They get back-to-back home runs from Pedro Pajes and J.J. Weatherholt to tie it before Jose Fermin plates 2 with a double. Manager Oliver Marmol says the club fights through some great pitching and then comes through when they needed to.
Wasn't easy to start with. I mean, those guys did a really nice job bullpen day, and they got a different arm coming in, some good velo, some tough at-bats, but we were able to stay in there and at the end put it together. But it's a fun group to watch, man. It's hard not like these guys.
Before the 4-run 9th inning, the Cardinals had gone 36 innings without scoring a run at PNC Park, dating back to April 9th of last season. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Billikens fans are invited to celebrate the men's basketball team tonight at Chaffetz Arena. Doors open at 5:30. Program begins at 6. Tickets are required for entry, but they are complimentary. You can go to slewbillikens.com to be guided there. Complimentary soft drinks and appetizers will be available, as will a cash bar. Free parking available in the Fred Weber VIP lot. Fans should enter through the O'Loughlin Family Champions Center. They'll have Josh Shirts there and Billiken student athletes as part of a Q&A. Members of the Billiken team will be available to sign autographs. What a season it was for the Atlantic 10 champions. Also announced yesterday by SLU, they are discontinuing the men's and women's tennis programs. This is a quote from Chris May, the athletic director. After a thorough and strategic review of our Division I sport offerings, we have made the difficult decision to discontinue the men's and women's tennis programs. The landscape of intercollegiate athletics continues to evolve nationally, he said, and universities are making hard decisions to best position their programs for long-term sustainability and success. Says this decision is not a reflection of our tennis student athletes and staff. I'm Tom Ackerman. We'll run through the Stanley Cup and NBA playoffs in depth coming up at 7:15. Right now, I want to tell you about St. Louis Composting. Growing gardens, making memories. That's St. Louis Composting. Great company located right here in St. Louis. In fact, they have 9 locations for you. all throughout the St. Louis area. You can order bulk delivery of compost, soil, and mulch as well. Yes, I said delivery. You don't have a truck or a trailer to grab all of this mulch and take it back with you to your work site or your home. Well, you can have it delivered. STLcompost.com. It's all you have to do. Their cubic yard calculator will tell you how much you need. You tell them and order online, and off you go. You can order from all of their products: compost, mulch, soil, by the bag, much more available. Lots of different tips and tricks and questions you can ask at STLcompost.com. It's a great site. It's a great company, St. Louis Composting. We're online at STLcompost.com. Growing gardens, making memories.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KingdomOX.com/events.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
It is 6:50 and time for another check of traffic and weather. Roger Brand has the latest on the roadways from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, they're dispatching emergency crews for a crash reported on 109 at 44 out in Eureka right now. This traffic reports the service of the Missouri History Museum's Route 66 Centennial Festival, April 30th through May 3rd. So just be advised of that. But once you get on 44 from Eureka, it's a great run all the way in through Highway 270. Northbound 55, a little bit better, but it's still slow. North of Richardson up through 141. It's still backed up from the Union Road overpass up to Weber and still slow from there to Virginia. Northbound 270, as you ramp on from 55 up through the Sappington Road overpass is slow. North of Big Bend to Manchester, Clayton Road up through 64. Southbound 270 at Ladudis, a little busy. Southbound 61, a few slow spots, P down to 64. Eastbound 70, approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard up at Bryan Road, and then east of K through TR Hughes, we got some slow traffic. And westbound 64 on the Illinois side, 50 through 159, you've got slow going as well. Don't miss the Route 66 Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Music from Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, kids crafts, and more. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
As for our weather, Roger, it looks pretty good for the most part. We do have a chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the area today, this afternoon, and late tonight. High of 66 today with sun and clouds. Tonight becoming breezy and cooler, low 51. Then the sun will be out for the rest of the week. High 64, Thursday 65, Friday 61, Saturday 62 with sun and clouds mixed. It's 56 right now.
Last night's storms have left some schools in the region without power. Booter Elementary in the Rittner district is closed today. No power there. According to a district official, there is no virtual learning scheduled for the elementary students. All other schools in the district will be in session.
In Belleville, Beasley Elementary and the John Kerry Early Childhood Center are closed today. The two schools will hold virtual classes. In the special school district, North Tech and Northview High Schools are closed today.
Thousands of Ackerman customers in Missouri and Illinois still without power this morning. More than 5,600 Illinois customers still without power. That number is small, though, in comparison to the more than 21,000 Missouri customers still without power, with the bulk of those outages in St. Louis County.
Ackerman crews are hard at work as they turn the lights back on for around 8,000 Missouri customers in the past hour. At the peak of last night's storms, 32,000 customers in Missouri and 16,000 in Illinois were without power.
There is a new state-of-the-art police station in Maryland Heights for the St. Louis County Central Police District. It's been in the works for several years.
It's named in honor of St. Louis County Police Detective Antonio Valentine, who died in the line of duty December 2021. Chief Kenneth Gregory.
I'll never forget that day. My last day with St. Louis County Police Department will be Thursday, April the 30th. And that is also the birthday of Antonio Valentine. Another day that I won't forget.
Gregory told Detective Valentine's family the new 2nd Precinct will always have Antonio Valentine's name on it.
For many, this summer will be one to hit the Mother Road. Route 66, the nationwide celebration of the iconic road's 100th anniversary, stretches from Chicago to Santa Monica. For collectors, there's now Route 66 trading cards available at stops along the way, including the National Museum of Transportation. The museum's exclusive card features Bobby Darin's dream car, a one-of-a-kind custom vehicle donated to the museum in 1970. Those trading cards are available for purchase at the museum for $1 each through the end of this year.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
David Freeze. Swinging a long one in the right. Get up, baby. Get up. Get up. It's at the wall. It is off the wall. One in. Here comes Berkman. Over the third goes Freeze. We're tied 7-7. How about that? Unbelievable. 3-2 delivery. On its way. Swinging a high drive to center field. Get up, baby. Get up, baby. Get up. Oh, yeah. David Freeze has just sent us into game number 7.
David Freeze, he delivered two of the greatest moments in Cardinals history in the same game. Game 6 of the 2011 World Series. Happy birthday, David. He is 43 today.
The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. If you have a birthday or anniversary you'd like announced here, all you have to do is email it to totalam@kmox.com, totalam@kmox.com. Make sure to include the date you'd like it announced. A slow birthday day today. Happy birthday wishes going out to Julie Lawson and Eric Specht.
This is the best birthday ever.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Summer's here. Is your backyard ready? If you missed the spring rush, Artistic Decks can still make it happen. From premium wood to maintenance-free composite, get the quality you deserve. Don't wait. Call Artistic Decks today at 314-280-0821.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Here is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, WMC and slow traffic north 55, north of Richardson up to the Merrimack. Stop and go pockets from north of Revis all the way up through Holly Hills. Northbound 270 from 55 up through Sappington's kind of slow. It's a little busy approaching Manchester. North of there, approaching Clayton Road up to 64, the slowest part. Southbound 270 south of Howell through Ladue, kind of busy as well. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have a mostly cloudy sky, some sun starting to peek through there at time to time here in downtown St. Louis. It's 56 degrees. I'm Tom Ackerman, and these are the stories making news. Several schools in the St. Louis region are closed today due to continued power outages from last night's storms. We'll find out which schools were affected at 7:04.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Maria Quina. The retiring St. Louis County Police Chief dedicates the new 2nd Precinct to one of his fallen officers.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Intervals of clouds and sun today, much cooler than recent days with a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 66.
This Cardinals team is just different. They go wild in the 9th inning and stun the Pirates. J.J. Weatherholt does it in his hometown. It's all in 15 minutes.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. So far, no comment from ABC's parent company Disney over Jimmy Kimmel's joke days before the Correspondents' Dinner shooting about First Lady Melania Trump having the glow of an expectant widow. She and the president want him ousted. CBS's Nancy Cordes is at the White House.
Last September, facing pressure from the Trump administration, ABC did suspend Kimmel for nearly a week. Late last night, Kimmel responded to Trump's latest call for his firing.
It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not by any stretch of the definition a call to assassination, and they know that.
The shooting suspect has been charged with attempting to assassinate the president. But court documents say the California teacher wasn't tackled by security. He tripped and fell. CBS's Katrina Kaufman.
Investigators still have some work to do here about really pinning down the timeline of what happened. They say that 5 of the shots that were fired were from the Secret Service. We don't yet know who fired the shot that actually hit the Secret Service agent.
A proposed new congressional map in Florida could give Republicans as many as 4 more seats in the U.S. House. The state legislature could vote on the changes as early as tomorrow. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries takes issue with that.
If Ron DeSantis wants a different map, he should do what Democrats did in California and Virginia. Take it to the voters, Ron.
If it's passed, expect a legal fight. Florida law prohibits redrawing districts along party lines. With U.S.-Iran negotiations at a standstill and fuel shipments still stalled in the Strait of Hormuz, budget airlines are banding together to ask for help.
The Association of Value Airlines, which represents Spirit, Allegiant, Frontier, and others, is asking for $2.5 billion to help offset soaring jet fuel costs. Spirit is already negotiating its own $500 million loan. President Trump.
If we could get it for the right price, I'd do it to save the jobs.
Spirit is in its second bankruptcy in 2 years. Some officials are skeptical about whether the other budget airlines need a bailout because they're not in the same financial distress as Spirit. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Average gas prices in the U.S. up 6 cents today to $4.17 a gallon. A suspect in a plot to attack Taylor Swift shows in Vienna didn't put up a fight today. Correspondent Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk.
The defendant, a 21-year-old Austrian man, has pleaded guilty on what would have been the first day of his trial. Prosecutors say he had sworn allegiance to Islamic State.
Swift canceled 3 Eras Tour performances there. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible?
Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
It is 7:04. It's 55 degrees and partly sunny. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Last night's storms leave some schools in the St. Louis region without power. Buter Elementary in the Rittner School District is closed today due to a power outage. According to a district official, there's no virtual learning scheduled for the elementary students. All of the schools in the district will be in session. That's Buter Elementary in the Rittner School District. In Belleville, Beasley Elementary and the John Carey Early Childhood Center are closed today. The two schools will hold virtual classes. In the special school district, North Tech and Northview High Schools are closed today.
Thousands of Ackerman customers in Missouri and Illinois are without power this morning. More than 5,600 Illinois customers, but that's a small number compared to the more than 21,000 in Missouri who still have no power. The bulk of those being reported in St. Louis County.
Ackerman crews are hard at work as they turn the lights back on for around 8,000 Missouri customers in the past hour. And in the peak of last night's storms, 32,000 customers in Missouri, 16,000 in Illinois were without power.
Ferguson City Manager Dave Musgrave is saying there is significant storm damage throughout Ferguson, but no injuries to report. At least 6 downed trees, including 2 that fell on structures. 1 downed tree caused a gas leak at a local business. That caused that area to be cordoned off and closed to through traffic while Spire crews worked to secure the scene.
There was a tree down at Wesley and Tiffin. Musgrave says they're addressing a critical situation there. Call the police non-emergency number to report any dangerous conditions, including down power lines, flooding, and fallen trees. Power outages have been reported along the West Florissant Business Corridor, and numerous power lines are down throughout the city of Ferguson.
The St. Louis County prosecutor is offering a way to get out of paying for old traffic offenses. Prosecuting attorney Melissa Price-Smith says all you have to do is take a certified educational course.
Once they complete this class successfully, the infraction is dismissed. They don't get points on their license, and ultimately their insurance is not increased.
Price-Smith tells KMOX's Total Information AM the office is facing a 6,000 ticket backlog of minor traffic offenses dating back to 2021. One note, DWIs and other serious offenses are not part of this program.
The Missouri Rural Water Association is handing out honors for the best tasting water in the state.
Jefferson County Public Water Supply District Number 2 took top honors in this year's Show Me Tap Water Roundup contest. Criteria include clarity, free of particles or debris, and is clear without discoloration. Bouquet, it's odor-free, and taste, the sample was satisfying and palatable. The sample will now compete in the nationwide Great American Water Taste Test next February to determine which state has the best tasting water. Sue Danielson, Missouri Net.
Several St. Louis area rivers are flooding simultaneously. The Mississippi above flood stage at Grafton and Winfield, with both crests still days away. The Merrimack goes above flood stage tonight near Sullivan, then climbs toward 29 feet near Arnold by Friday. The Quiver River is flooding near Troy and Old Monroe, and the Missouri at Herman is exceeding flood stage by Wednesday.
From the KMOX Business Desk, Evertrue Crossroads at Bevo Mill is officially opening later this week. The senior housing development at Gravois and Morganford is already 70% leased. There's a big demand for affordable housing in the city for seniors, with Evertrue's waiting list about 2 to 3 years long. According to the Post-Dispatch, about 18% of those 65 and older in the city live below the poverty line.
Crossroads was developed by Tower Grove Community Development Corporation on land donated by Midwest Bank Center. It was built with the belief that many seniors want to stay in their city neighborhood given the opportunity.
We'll check the neighborhoods and the highway traffic coming up in 2 minutes at 7:08.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer. Then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Don't miss a baseball showdown at Busch Stadium when Shohei Ohtani and the LA Dodgers roll into the Lou May 1st through the 3rd. Kick off the weekend with Friday Night Live and a must-have short sleeve hoodie giveaway. Saturday brings a Mason Wynn bobblehead celebrating his Gold Glove Award. Then Sunday features a sleek blade collar shirt giveaway. Big names, big matchups, and big giveaways all weekend long. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Mason Wynn. Get your tickets at cardinals.com.
The 1-2, and that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
What's up, Cardinals fans? Mason Wynn here. On Saturday, May 2nd, when we face the Dodgers, you can take home the Mason Wynn Gold Glove bobblehead presented by the Shane Company. It's got my chain, my first gold glove, my whole look, just how I rock it. Plus, a few rare all-gold baubles will be randomly mixed in for 500 lucky fans. This is one you won't want to miss. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotion.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 7:10. Time for us to check in with Roger Brand. He is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, a few minutes ago, they dispatched the MSW for a crash on westbound 370 and 94. It turns out it looks like it's a car that went down the embankment into a bunch of brush. I can't see the car, but I see everybody standing around all the bushes there. They do have the right lane blocked. It is westbound, though, westbound 370 and 94. So traffic's getting by okay because there's just not a lot of volume going that way this time of day. Eastbound 64 coming off 61 through Prospect. Midway into Lake St. Louis Boulevard's kind of slow. After that, you're good to go. Southbound 270, Olive down to Ladou's slow. North 270, you've got heavy traffic as you ramp on from 55 up through toward Gravois. It opens up before Gravois, and then the only slowdown after that is north of Manchester up through 64. Northbound 55, of course, north of Richardson up to the Merrimack. You've got slow traffic, a backup from Union to Weber, but still slow up through Holly Hills. And on the Illinois side, westbound 6450 through 159. You've got slow traffic going through that construction zone. And if you're on a 109 northbound approaching 44, there's still a little bit of a backup. We had an injury crash there recently. Next update is 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, intervals of clouds and sun today, and much cooler than recent days. There could be a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, high 66. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm around the first half of tonight. Then cloudy late tonight and becoming breezy, though 51. For tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, a breezy, cool day, high 64. Thursday, sunshine mixing with clouds, high 65. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sports in 3 minutes. It's cloudy, 54 in Florissant, 54 in St. Peters, 55 degrees downtown at the Arch.
The man who drove into a crowd at Ted Drew's Christmas tree lot in 2024 avoids a conviction, according to the Post-Dispatch. Rasul Al-Janabi pleaded guilty yesterday to leaving the scene of an accident and was sentenced to 5 years of probation with the charge wiped from his record if he completes supervision. Al-Janabi was 19 when his car jumped a curb on Chippewa and struck 6 people ranging in age from 12 to 82. His attorney says he swerved to avoid another vehicle and then panicked because he didn't speak English.
The new St. Louis Central County Police Precinct, which also serves other purposes, officially opened yesterday. The brand new facility named in honor of fallen St. Louis County Police Detective Antonio Valentine, who died in the line of duty in December 2021.
Police Chief Gregory's last day will be Thursday. He's retiring.
Our Captain Chuck Bosch, along with Bill Roach, came to me with a proposal to expand our fusion center. And as the talks went on, it got to this point right here, to where we built this complex. As the county executive said, within this, we have a second precinct. We have our RIC information center here. Have a state-of-the-art fusion center. all in this one complex.
Gregory says for years, the officers worked out of a renovated building, but made it work. The chief says the new second precinct would not have been possible without support to gain the finances that were needed to build such a state-of-the-art facility. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Nike is laying off 1,400 workers across the country, mostly in technology. That includes 172 workers in St. Charles at the manufacturing facility on Research Park Drive. The cuts take effect June 26th, and they mark the second round of layoffs this year for Nike.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
Through 2 outs in the 7th inning, the Cardinals did not have a base runner. They finally got a hit from Alec Burleson, but cracked the game open in the 9th, beginning with this. 0-2 the count on Pedro Pages. The next pitch, a swing, and there's a high fly ball. That's hit to deep left field, back to the track, the wall. It's a goner. Pedro Pages connects for his 3rd home run of the year, and the Cardinals are down by a run in the 9th inning. The pitch is swung on. That's hit high. That's hit deep. Right center field. It might go. It's a goner. We're tied at 2 in the 9th inning. Back-to-back home runs by Pages and J.J. Weatherholt. Jose Fermin doubled in 2 more runs. The Cardinals made them stand up 4-2 and a comeback win over the Pirates, with Ryan Fernandez getting the win over Dennis Santana. Soriano with the save. We're on the air tonight at 4:45 after a 4-2 win in Pittsburgh last night.
From John Rooney, we go downstairs to Cardinal TV's Danny Wexelman with JJ Weatherholt.
JJ, just take a second right now. I mean, there are hundreds of people here right now in the stands for you. What does this moment mean to you?
It's crazy. I was telling the umpire out there, it's like, yeah, I got a lot of Pirates fans that are Cardinal fans today. So, yeah, the town really showed out. A bunch of family and friends here. Just people so excited for me, and I just couldn't be more grateful.
Homecoming, home cooking, what does it feel like to be a part of your team's comeback?
Feels great. I mean, I told Pedro that swing that he put on that ball just really fired me up. I mean, that guy has been their guy all year, and runs have been tough to come by. And as soon as he did that, I was like, man, I might as well try to as well, and was able to do so.
How do you describe the 9th inning? You mentioned the Pages home run, your home run, and then the comeback.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, the biggest thing was we kind of just kept it going. I mean, after those homers, it's easy to kind of like end there, but we were able to put some at-bats together. Walk had an unbelievable at-bat, Burley with a crazy swing, and then Fermin with a big hit. So it was just great team baseball.
Hey, how important was Ryan Fernandez in this game? I mean, Dustin May sets him up, and then Ryan Fernandez 2 scoreless.
I mean, D-May did an unbelievable job, just great job all day long. And for Fern to come in and do that, I mean, it was disgusting. I don't think anybody could have hit that guy tonight. So just super encouraged by that outing there.
Cat the cat. We found out your cat's name is Cat. We were talking to your parents earlier. Chip was joking about the 9 lives of this team. Is Cat the cat a part of the rally here?
I mean, he might be. He was super excited to see me when I went home. So Cat the cat brought me some good vibes.
Hey, congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
The hometown kid, J.J. Weatherholt, after a 4-2 win over the Pirates, and the hometown Penguins also pulled out a good win for J.J. and his friends, 3-2 over the Flyers. The Penguins are down 3-2 in that series now. They were on the verge of getting swept. They won back-to-back games. Vegas beat Utah 5-4 on the road in overtime. That series is now even at 2 games apiece. In the NBA, Orlando with an improbable 94-88 win over Detroit and a 3-1 lead over the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, the Pistons. Oklahoma City, the number 1 team in the West, swept Phoenix 131-122 was the final last night, and Denver beat up Minnesota 125-113 to cut that series lead to 3-2. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Spring is here. Hi, this is Tim Gamma.
And I'm Tom Gamma.
When it comes to tree care, call the name you can trust. Gamma Tree Experts, founded by our dad, Frank Gamma, in 1954.
Frank will be 91 this year, and the 3rd generation of Gammas have joined the business.
Call our team of certified arborists to inspect your trees and shrubs today. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Now in our 72nd year.
For pruning, fertilization, and removal, call Gamma Tree Experts today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than two? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
McKelvey Homes, located all over, really, all over the place. Whether it's St. Louis County, St. Charles County, McKelvey Homes has you covered. From Afton out to O'Fallon, to Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon, to Cottleville Trails in Cottleville, to the Reserve at Wildwood and Wildwood. McKelvey Homes, 1898, the year they were founded. That makes them Missouri's oldest home builder. They're also the best. Let me tell you a little bit about McKelvey Homes and Strawberry Farms. You see, Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon has a new display, and it's open with special opening savings. McKelvey has you at Cottleville Trails saving up to $83,000 on move-in ready homes. And at Strawberry Farms, they have some great savings and legendary quality, prime locations, people who stand for our community. That's McKelvey Homes. McKelvey's spring event offers are available until May 31st. So just go to McKelveyhomes.com. You're going to find homes that, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for the change. You want to check it out. You want a move-in ready home. They are there for you. McKelvey Homes already done it. McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:20, and this is Total Information AM, where we bring you a look at traffic and weather every 10 minutes, and now is no exception. Here's Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, folks traveling up 55 have a good run going, come up from Festus, but of course north of Richardson up through 141 to the Merrimack into that work zone. You're slow. The right lane's bogged down. Butler Hill up to the 270 exit. All lanes are backed up. From the Union Road overpass up to River to Pears, still slow up to about Virginia, and then you break free. Northbound 270 backs up as you merge on with the 55 traffic midway up to Tesson Ferry, but there's slow pockets through Gravois, north of Big Bend, all the way up through Ladue now is slower. Southbound 270 approaching Olive down through Ladue, that's busy. Southbound 61, we have a backup coming down through Wentzville Parkway just before 64. It looks like there's an incident. Once you get past that, it's just a little slow passing Prospect. There's a little slowdown at Clarkson, but around the Interbelt, things still look great. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, just a little busy at TR Hughes. They cleared that right lane, westbound 370 at 94, no longer an issue there. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64, stop-and-go pockets approaching 50 through 159, but after that, you're good to go headed across the Poplar Street Bridge. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This week, buy one room of carpet, get one cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
We're looking good right now in the St. Louis area. Just a glance at the radar doesn't show any rain activity. We had enough of that yesterday. We do have a little bit left, though. A shower or thunderstorm in the area this afternoon, says Joe Lundberg, high 66 after a sunny / cloudy cooler day. And tonight, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm early, then remaining cloudy late and becoming breezy, low 51. Tomorrow, breezy and cool with some sun and clouds and a high of 64 degrees. Currently, we have clouds in downtown St. Louis. It's 55 at the Arch.
It is 7:22. St. Louis loses an internationally respected scientific leader.
Dr. Peter Raven, the botanist who spent nearly 4 decades transforming the Missouri Botanical Garden into one of the world's premier scientific institutions, has died. He was 89. Raven took the helm of the garden in 1971 when it was a modest local institution and built it into a global research powerhouse, now with nearly 500 staff and conservation programs that span 5 continents. He received the National Medal of Science from President Clinton in 2000, was named a MacArthur Fellow, and was called a hero for the planet by Time magazine. Beyond the garden, he co-founded the Danforth Plant Science Center, helped to establish St. Louis's sister city relationship in China, and spent spent decades warning the world about the accelerating loss of biodiversity. A celebration of the life of Dr. Peter Raven will be held at the Missouri Botanical Garden. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Trump administration fired the entire National Science Board in an email yesterday. The board is an independent body that oversees the National Science Foundation. It's an unprecedented move that bypasses the board's normal 6-year staggered term structure. The White House provided no reason for the mass termination. Zoe Lofgren, a California congresswoman on the House Science, Space, and Technology Committee, called it, quote, the latest stupid move made by a president who continues to harm science and American innovation.
The Department of Homeland Security could soon run out of money to pay TSA workers.
President Trump had authorized emergency funds from last year's One Big Beautiful Bill to pay TSA workers in recent weeks. But West Central Missouri Congressman Mark Alford says that money will soon be gone.
So next pay period, if we do not get something done by Wednesday, TSA agents will not get paid.
Multiple media outlets report that TSA workers' last paycheck would be this week unless Senate Democrats and Republicans can agree on reopening the Department of Homeland Security. Marshall Griffin, Missouri Net.
Governor J.B. Pritzker has created the Illinois Accountability Commission to investigate ICE's Operation Midway Blitz from last fall. Hundreds of hours of surveillance, body cam videos have been reviewed, dozens of interviews conducted. Pritzker tells CNN the commission has determined laws were broken, people violated oaths and protocols.
We're talking about CBP and ICE agents on the ground, as well as their leaders, their supervisors, all the way up to Kristi Noem, leading the Department of Homeland Security, Tom Homan, Greg Bovino. So many have just ignored what the law is.
Pritzker says, as it turns out, people of color were targeted and U.S. citizens whose safety was taken away from them. The governor says the operation was never about public safety.
He said he was going after the worst of the worst. That's not who they arrested. 81% of the people that they detained were people who had no record at all.
Pritzker adds the purpose of the Accountability Commission is to have a record.
Governor Pritzker says he wants to see the country move away from the political animus, especially after a gunman opened fire at the Washington Correspondent Dinner Saturday.
The death penalty for General Mark Milley. He has called for jailing his political opponents, me included. So this is a president who unfortunately slips into that mode so easily. But I think we should get away from all of that.
Pritzker tells CNN he believes you can find examples on both sides of the aisle of rhetoric that people didn't mean or went too far with. He says this is a moment when everyone should take a step back and remember the country needs to bring peace to its politics.
President Trump, there have been attempts on his life now 3 times in the last 2 years.
Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt on C-SPAN talking about Saturday night's Correspondents' Dinner.
He came within an inch of his life in Butler. At his own golf course. Senator Graham and I played with the president there. On a par 3 course, he's a hole away. If it wasn't for a Secret Service agent spotting the glistening of the sun off the barrel of a rifle that just happened to come across the fence line, that assassination would have been televised on a GoPro.
Schmidt is accusing the left of, quote, having a real assassination culture problem right now.
There's a new bill before the St. Louis County Council to repeal the ordinance that requires the county executive to notify the council chair before leaving the continental United States. Councilwoman Gretchen Bangert says instead of simply notifying the chair he'd be heading to London, Sam Page started an unnecessary and costly legal fight. She says she'd rather repeal the ordinance than continue litigation.
Bangert says last year Page was traveling abroad when the devastating May tornado hit. Because he didn't inform the chair, it took considerable time before the chair knew Page was out of the country. She says she hopes future county executives will choose transparency.
It is 7:27. The time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin.
We're starting a program here in the upper GI space called PREVENT. That's the acronym, and it's really aimed at trying to detect these cancers early and even to kind of, reverse them and understand kind of the science behind why they form.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, Visit siteman.washu.edu.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Spring into green with Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. For a limited time, we have 0% financing for 84 months on John Deere 1, 2, and 3E Series compact tractor packages with prices as low as $225 a month. Plus, we'll deliver it for free. Visit SNPartners.com or one of our Missouri and Illinois John Deere locations. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 4/30/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Make Cinco de Mayo delicious with Easy Cater, the easiest way to order food from favorite restaurants for all your celebrations. From April 27th through May 5th, every order placed earns you 1,000 bonus rewards points. Whether you're looking for traditional favorites like tacos and tortas, festive options like a build-your-own nacho bar, or hosting a breakfast fiesta with huevos rancheros and breakfast burritos, Easy Cater makes food for Cinco de Mayo a cinch. Order now at easycater.com with promo code Cinco de Mayo 26. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Easy Cater, the best way to order great food from favorite restaurants for all your festivities. From April 27th through May 5th, every order placed earns you 1,000 bonus rewards points. From traditional favorites like enchiladas and mole to festive options like a build-your-own taco bar, even breakfast. Chilaquiles, anyone? Easy Cater makes food for Cinco de Mayo a cinch. Order now at easycater.com and get 1,000 bonus points on every order with promo code Cinco de Mayo 26. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
It is 7:30 and we have cloudy skies in downtown St. Louis and it's 55 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're headed up on northbound Highway 55, you still got some slow traffic. We'll call it approaching 141 to the Merrimack in the work zone. It's south of Butler Hill up to 270 slow, primarily the right lanes. And then from the Union Road overpass up through Holly Hills, pretty busy. And, of course, ramping on from 55 to North 270. You've got slow traffic now up through Gravois, Big Bend, all the way up to Ladue. South 270, 364 down to Ladue. That's heavy. Eastbound 30 backed up West Watson up the hill to 270. That's a little more solid than we've seen recently. Southbound 61, that incident, I can't see if it's a stall or a crash, but it is blocking a traffic lane just before you get down to the 6470 overpass. Southbound 61 is a solid jam from Highway P down almost to the interstates there. Once you get on 64, it's not bad, a little slow. Any guns up through Clarkson and briefly at the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Hampton through Big Bend is busy. Eastbound 70 through TR Hughes, just a little slow there. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64, stop and go approaching 50 through 159. After that, just a couple little slow spots approaching the Poplar. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Our weather, it's going to be a little cloudy, a little sunny, and potentially a little rainy this afternoon and evening. Intervals of clouds and sun much cooler than recent days, says Joe Lundberg. A shower or thunderstorm in the area this afternoon, high 66. Tonight, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around early, then remaining cloudy late and becoming breezy, low 51. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, breezy and cool, high of 64. It's 56 right now.
And the news continues here on KMOX with an update on schools closed because of the storms from last night. Booter Elementary in the Rittner School District is closed today. They still don't have power there. There is no virtual learning scheduled for the elementary students, and all other schools in the district will be in session.
In Belleville, Beasley Elementary and the John Kerry Early Childhood Center are closed today. The two schools will hold virtual classes. In the special school district, North Tech and Northview High Schools are closed today.
Thousands of Ackerman customers in Missouri and Illinois are waiting to get their power back. More than 5,600 Illinois customers still without power. More than 21,000 Missouri customers without it. The bulk of the power outages are being reported in St. Louis County.
Ackerman crews are hard at work as they turn the lights back on for around 8,000 Missouri customers in the past hour. At the peak of last night's storms, 32,000 customers in Missouri and 16,000 in Illinois were without power.
Ferguson City Manager Dave Musgrave says that the storm hit Ferguson hard. There's significant storm damage, but no injuries to report. At least 6 downed trees, including 2 that fell onto structures. One downed tree caused a gas leak at a local business. Spire crews were working to secure that scene.
Musgrave says they're also addressing a critical situation in the area of Wesley and Tiffin. Looked like a tree went down there. Call the police non-emergency number to report any dangerous conditions, including downed power lines, flooding, and fallen trees. Power outages have been reported along the West Florissant Business Corridor, and numerous power lines are down throughout the city. They're asking to please avoid travel in Ferguson if you can.
It is 7:34. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
All Access with Ollie Marmol on the Gas House Gang.
You're constantly trying to figure out how to get meaningful information through to the player in a way where they can put it into action. If they can shoot holes in your game or in your information or your delivery, you're done. If you come into those prepared and they can shoot holes in your messaging or in your points that you're trying to make, you lose credibility real quick, and you're not gaining that back anytime soon.
Ollie Marmol, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners, so they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
It is 7:35. We're glad you're listening to Total Information AM on this cloudy, breezy morning. We'll tell you about the weather after we check the roadways. And let's get you your update from Bloomberg. They've got your money report, and it's sponsored for you at this hour by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Streaming leader Spotify is still pulling in new listeners even after it recently raised prices. The company added slightly more users than Wall Street expected in the most recent quarter. Spotify has shifted its strategy from a music-only destination to offer a broad spectrum of audio and video programming, including books and podcasts. Checking on your money, tech stocks, they're taking a breather today. A record-breaking rally in chip makers has fueled a nearly 10% gain in the S&P 500 this month. Futures are slipping this morning after stocks closed yesterday at a record high. And college students are graduating into a different world to the one they imagined as their studies began, when the AI revolution was just getting started. Now thousands of young folks are signing up for master's degrees or the equivalent to help them beat the toughest job market in decades. For example, law school applications have soared 32% year to date, compared with the average over the last 4 years. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of your choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Do you ever feel like people are mumbling more than they used to? Or maybe conversations at restaurants and family gatherings have gotten harder to follow? If this sounds familiar, it might be time to learn more about your hearing. That's why we're inviting you to a special lunch and learn at the Audiology Center. This event is on April 29th for various time slots. It's a relaxed and friendly gathering where our certified audiologists will talk about hearing and hearing loss, answer your questions, and share how today's hearing aids can help you connect with the moments that matter most. Hearing loss often happens slowly, and many people don't realize how much they're missing. It's important to know how untreated hearing loss can negatively affect you in the long term. It's a no-pressure event, just good conversation and good information, and lunch is on us. Seats are limited, so please call 636-441-7470 to reserve your spot for our free lunch and learn at the Audiology Center on April 29th. Take the first step towards hearing more clearly.
Save big money on your next painting project at Menards. Rust-Oleum's Painter's Touch 2x Cover Spray Paint is the perfect choice for both indoor and outdoor painting projects. It comes in over 100 colors and dries to a smooth, durable finish on wood, plastic, metal, and wicker surfaces. Save big on Rust-Oleum spray paint at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Presented by Worldwide Technology, the BizDash 5K is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, a high-energy corporate race in St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Thursday, May 7th at Energizer Park. Register your team at stlbizdash.com.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway. Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
You know who's with us today? Ollie Marmol. I think he's going to be in a good mood. What an incredible game last night for the Cardinals. My gosh, probably their win of the year so far. Roger Brand, you're in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, busy highways now, Tom. This traffic reports service of S&L Coinsville, peak time of the rush hour, northbound 55 north of Richardson up to the Merrimack. Slow the right lanes north of Butler Hill up to the 270 exits. It's backed up again from the Union Road overpass in pockets up to Holly Hills. Northbound 270 from 55 up through Gravois slow, and then stop and go pockets 44 to Big Bend, but remains heavy most of the way up through Ladue. Southbound 270, 364 down to Ladue. That's busy. Southbound 61, we still have this incident in a traffic lane before you get to 64 and 70. Southbound 61, a solid jam north of Highway P now. Eastbound 70, a little slow at Wentzville Parkway, K into TR Hughes. Eastbound 64, you've got slow traffic east of Boone to almost Timberlake, and then from McKnight to Big Bend. Westbound 64, Hampton out to Hanley's heavy. South 170, delays from near Ladue to 64. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64, 50 through 159, there are stop-and-go pockets. Eastbound Highway 30, Dolores up through Gravois Bluffs is backed up, and then again, you've got delays from West Watson to 270. Next update at 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
Let's get a check of the weather. It is now 7:41. Our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. We just had, it seemed, wave after wave of stuff moving through yesterday. It was quite something, but things are calm now.
Yeah, but they're much more stable. I mean, we're not going to have to deal with the severe weather aspect. We're not done with the rain and thunderstorm activity. We don't really need any more rain. We've had plenty this month. Some places 7-8 inches of rain just in the past few weeks. But today we'll see clouds and some intervals of sun. Our high only 66. There can be a shower or thunderstorm in the area this afternoon, and a couple of showers and a thunderstorm the first half of tonight. But late tonight, it'll start to dry out. By morning, we're down to 51. So sun returns tomorrow, but it's not going to be a warm day. Breezy, cool with 64. Our high, mid-60s Thursday with some sunshine. More clouds and sun, cool on Friday, the high 61, and low 60s with sunshine to start the weekend. Right now it's 55 at St. Peter's and in Florissant. We'll call it partly sunny, but there's a lot of clouds around. 58 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Joe, thank you very much. Sports in 2 minutes at 7:43. There's a stalemate between the United States and Iran, even as a ceasefire is holding in the war over Tehran trying to control the state of Hormuz and unwillingness to abandon nuclear ambitions. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Rami Inocencio is monitoring the latest from London.
The price of Brent crude, the global benchmark, is now up to over $111 a barrel. This is at its highest ever since, I'm looking at here, about April 1st. So we're looking about the past month or so.
Finger pointing and calls for the other side to tone down the rhetoric. These are at play again in the United States in the wake of the attempted attack on the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night. It's the third attempt on Donald Trump's life since he launched another campaign for the presidency in 2024. Kevin Boyle is a professor of American history at Northwestern University in Chicago, examining the position our country is in.
What we're caught in at the moment is a cycle of escalation, and there are forces that are really hard to de-escalate, but that has to start somewhere. And the way that it has to start is with our elected leaders in both parties.
More budget airlines are asking the Trump administration for help.
The Association of Value Airlines, which represents Spirit, Allegiant, Frontier, and others, is asking for $2.5 billion to help offset soaring jet fuel costs. Spirit is already negotiating its own $500 million loan. President Trump.
If we could get it for the right price, I'd do it to save the jobs.
Spirit is in its second bankruptcy in 2 years. Some officials are skeptical about whether the other budget airlines need a bailout because they're not in the same financial distress as Spirit. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
One of the biggest names in this year's college football transfer portal is going to be sidelined.
Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has taken an indefinite leave of absence to enter a treatment program for a gambling addiction. CBS Sports college football analyst Shahan Jayaraja.
This is a big deal, not just for Texas Tech, but also for Brendan Sorsby. This is a player who was projected as the number 2 transfer quarterback in the country.
ESPN, citing unidentified sources, reported that the quarterback allegedly made thousands of online bets on a variety of sports via a gambling app. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
What a game last night in Pittsburgh. It looked like it was all Pirates, didn't it? They were up 2-0. In fact, they held the Cardinals to without a hit. The first hit was Alec Burleson in the 7th inning. This game was 2-0 Pirates in the 9th inning with 1 out. But this Cardinals team is just hard to put away, Pedro Paez.
The next pitch. A swing, and there's a high fly ball. That's hit to deep left field. Back to the track, the wall. It's a goner. Pedro Paez connects for his 3rd home run of the year, and the Cardinals are down by a run in the 9th inning.
John Rooney with the call on KMOX, and the Cardinals are in business. After that, it's a chance for the next batter, J.J. Weatherholt. He grew up in the Pittsburgh area.
3-2, 1 out. The pitch is swung on. That's hit high. That's hit deep. Right center field. It might go. It's a goner. We're tied at 2 in the 9th inning. Back-to-back home runs by Paez and J.J. Weatherholt.
Is this really happening? Oh, yes, he is. It is. If you've been paying attention, the Cardinals come back routinely, and they were trying to put together yet another one. And a home run for Weatherholt ties the game at 2, and the Pirates are going to try to get out of this inning. And the Cardinals say, not so fast. We're not done. The Cardinals have a 2-2 ball game with the bases clear. Can they do it again? Well, Alec Burleson, after an Ivan Herrera walk, reaches on a hit. This is how this sounds.
Here's a little dribbler up the third base line, and it's going to come back fair. It's on the line, rolling on the line, still staying fair. The ball dies on the line. That's a base hit. The last 2 hits have been little dribblers up the third base line for Burleson. And there's Victor Scott's the second with all that speed in scoring position at second base.
I'll tell you what, this Cardinals team, things just go their way. Scott, the pinch runner for Herrera. Burleson, that little squibber, stays fair, but the Cardinals also cash in when things go their way. It was a walk for Jordan Walker. Bases loaded for...
Here's Jose Fermin. A swing and a hit down the left field line. Fair ball! The ball rolls to the corner. 2 runs are going to score. And getting the stop sign at third base is Jordan Walker. Fermin 2 for 2 off the bench tonight. He has given the Cardinals a 4-2 lead in the 9th inning, and the Cardinals aren't finished.
How about it? The Cardinals win this game 4-2. George Soriano shuts him down in the 9th inning. And Matt Pauley, it's a great win for the hometown kid.
J.J. Weatherholt grew up in a Pittsburgh suburb about 30 minutes from PNC Park. He plays his college ball just over an hour away at West Virginia, playing with a multitude of friends, family, and the entire West Virginia baseball team in attendance to support him. Weatherholt plays a huge role in a 4-2 comeback win for the Cardinals over the Pirates. Down 2-0 in the 9th, Pedro Pajes hits a home run, and then Weatherholt does the same to tie it. Manager Oliver Marmol appreciates how cool the moment is.
Petey hits a home run, then he comes up and ties it with his, and that whole crowd, his whole section of family and friends here. That's special. That's a big swing.
Weatherholt has now hit a home run in 3 consecutive games. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Cards and Pirates today at 5:40 on KMOX. Ins and Outs sponsored by Innsbruck Resort, where every day is the weekend. What a great weekend it's going to be at Innsbruck, July 4th weekend. I was already looking ahead to see what that was going to be like. Oh, my goodness. July 4th is on a weekend this year. Man, oh man, are they going to have a good time at Innsbruck. The legendary fireworks display at Innsbruck. They claim the largest private fireworks display in the state of Missouri, and they are not wrong. That thing is amazing. And the 4th of July is a great weekend. The 4th of July lands on a Saturday this year. Man, that is going to be fun at Innsbruck. Innsbruck-resort.com. All you have to do is go there to see all of the locations that are available for rent. They have Innsbruck Vacations. They have Innsbruck Permanent Residences. People live there, too. It's just incredible. 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, all the fishing you can handle, hiking and swimming and all the fun that is to be had during the summer months, but really anytime at Innsbruck. Innsbruck-resort.com. Let's take a look at our Circa Sports parlay of the day, sponsored by Circa Sports, sports betting the way it should be. I cannot believe how close I was to landing you a 3-team parlay yesterday. I told you Orlando was going to beat Detroit again, and they did. They covered the 3.5. I told you that Oklahoma City and Denver were both going to win and cover. Denver wins by 12. The spread was 11.5. And Oklahoma City wins by 9. The spread was 10.5. Oh, my gosh, it was that close. Well, let's take a look at today's Philadelphia at Boston. I like the Celtics big today, minus 11.5. Atlanta at New York. The Knicks are 6.5-point favorites. I think the Hawks will keep that close. I'm going to go Hawks plus 6.5. And San Antonio up 3-1 on Portland, ready to close it out. They're minus 12. I'm going to go Portland plus 12 there. The Circa Sports parlay of the day.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circasports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circa Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready to laugh out loud, St. Louis. The outrageous Broadway hit Spam-A-Lot is riding into the fabulous Fox Theater May 5th through the 17th. From the twisted minds of Monty Python, this Tony Award-winning musical brings you killer rabbits, dancing knights, and non-stop hilarity. It's the legend of King Arthur like you've never seen it before. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 7:52. Here is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got our trouble out in Wentzville, Debbie, with that stall or crash in a traffic lane southbound 61 just before you get down to 6470. Southbound 61's a solid jam north of Highway P all the way down to it. Eastbound 64, Annie Guns through Clarkson is slow. McKnight into Big Ben's heavy. Westbound 64, Science Center out through Hampton's bumper to bumper, but remains slow all the way to Hanley. South 170 bogs down at Ladue. South 270, Dorset to Ladue, slow. North 270, north of 55, approaching Tesson Ferry up to 44. It backs up through 44 to about Big Bend, but then again, it's slow all the way up to Ladue from that point. Eastbound 44, east of Bulls through Miraz, a little busy. 30, West Watson to 270, still slow. Northbound 55, approaching 141 to the Merrimack, heavy, and stop-and-go pockets from Union all the way up through Holly Hills southbound coming down to Bates looks a little heavy, and we still have a backup on the Illinois side, westbound 64 approaching 50 through 159. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Pretty good day for the most part, Roger. Sun, much cooler than recent days. Shower or thunderstorm in the area this afternoon, high 66. Tonight, couple of showers in the thunderstorm, then cloudy late and breezy, low 51. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, breezy and cool, high of 64 degrees. It's cool out there right now, 56 and cloudy downtown at the Arch.
It's 7:53. Remember, if you have kids in the Rittner School District, Booter Elementary is closed today. They still have no power. There won't be virtual learning for the elementary students. All the other schools in the Rittner District are in session.
In Belleville, Beasley Elementary and the John Kerry Early Childhood Center are closed today. The two schools will hold virtual classes. In the Special School District, North Tech and Northview High Schools are closed today.
The woman charged in connection with the fatal Steak and Shake shooting is set to appear in court today. A judge is expected to deliberate a reduction of 20-year-old Jada Bell's $1 million cash-only bond. Bell is charged with first-degree murder, assault, unlawful use of a weapon, and 3 counts of armed criminal action in connection with the drive-through murder back on April 8th. Today's hearing is scheduled for 10 a.m.
St. Louis County Police Chief Kenneth Gregory joined community leaders to cut the ribbon on the new Mid-County Public Safety Complex in Maryland Heights.
The complex is named in honor of fallen St. Louis County Police Detective Antonio Valentine.
On December 1st, 2021, Detective Antonio Valentine was killed in a vehicle accident while trying to pursue a felony suspect. A day that I will never forget because it happened within the first 5 months of me being named the acting chief of the St. Louis County Police Department. No chief wants on their resume the fact that they lost an officer killed in the line of duty.
The facility will house Police Precinct 2, along with the Fusion Intelligence Center, Criminal Intelligence, the Regional Information and Intelligence Center, and Property Control. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
A St. Louis man's court victory against Roundup maker Monsanto/Bayer may not survive the Supreme Court.
The justices heard arguments Monday in a case that pits state jury verdicts against federal pesticide regulations. John Durnell won $1.25 million after a Missouri jury found that Monsanto should have warned him that the weed killer carried a cancer risk, but the EPA has never required such a warning. The Trump administration sided with Monsanto. Several conservative justices suggested that allowing individual state juries to set labeling standards would create chaos nationwide for manufacturers. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
We'll check traffic next at 7:56.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norb Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
All hail Spamalot, the Tony Award-winning best musical comedy that will have you laughing your coconuts off. The Washington Post declares Monty Python's Spamalot is the funniest musical on Broadway. Entertainment Weekly calls it a hilarious fun fest. The Washington Post says it's unfair to laugh this much. Get your tickets now for the musical comedy event of the year, Spamalot, playing the Fabulous Fox May 5th through 17th. Tickets at fabulousfox.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra vutrisiran is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Summer is here. Is your backyard ready? If you missed the spring rush, Artistic Decks can still make it happen. From premium wood to maintenance-free composite, get the quality you deserve. Don't wait. Call Artistic Decks today at 314-280-0821.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Here is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, northbound 270, Debbie, you got stop-and-go pockets. It just bunches up periodically like accordion style, pretty much, I think. Tesson Ferry all the way up through 44, and then a little bit of a gap, but then Big Bend all the way up to Luz, just plain old slow. Southbound 270, south of Dorset, midway down to Olive, and then it's not as bad after that. Southbound 61, we still have this stall or crash blocking just before you get down to 64 and 70. Southbound 61, still a solid jam north of Highway P because of it. Eastbound 70 is a little slow between the Blanchette and our city. Eastbound 64, Boone's Crossing through Clarkson's heavy. A couple of pockets, Lindbergh through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Hampton to Big Bend is slow. Northbound 55, you've still got a backup from Union Road up through Holly Hills. Southbound through Bates is a little backed up, and 64 westbound approaching 50 through 159 is bumper to bumper. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we have ourselves a bit of a respite here weather-wise. Dave Murray runs down yesterday's severe weather with our Megan Lynch at 8:24.
Budweiser celebrating 150 years. Learn more about the history of the iconic lager made here in St. Louis after the top of the hour news.
The protein craze could help crop farmers. Megan Lynch talks with Reuters commodity reporter Heather Schlitz at 8:51.
We'll give you tips on how to stay relevant in your career from an executive coach. That's at 8:41.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Intervals of clouds and sun today. A shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. High 66.
I'll be back at noon with Chris Ranji, Bernie Miklasz, and Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol. What a game last night.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. It'll be a first since Queen Elizabeth went to Capitol Hill 35 years ago.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, distinguished members of Congress.
King Charles will address a joint meeting of Congress on this second day of his U.S. visit. Former British diplomat Shannon Felton Spence on what he'll be aiming for.
A successful speech from Britain's perspective is to remind Congress and the president and the administration of what makes this relationship great. And so the king will touch on shared history with democratic values and the rule of law.
The king will also meet privately with President Trump today. He and Queen Camilla will attend a state dinner in their honor at the White House tonight. The president and first lady are demanding Jimmy Kimmel be fired over remarks the Late Show host made days before the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting about Melania Trump having the glow of an expectant widow. People outside LA's El Capitan Theater, where Kimmel tapes live, have differing opinions.
It was before this weekend, so it obviously didn't have anything to do with that. So I think any reaction related to what happened this weekend just doesn't make sense to me.
They would be very smart to get this guy off the air, especially when there's so many non-political comedians that are good that could replace his show.
Kimmel insists he was poking fun at the first couple's age gap. Extreme weather in the Midwest is blamed for at least one death, plenty of destruction, and massive power outages. Correspondent Usher Qureshi reports from Lebanon, Illinois.
In Chesterfield, Missouri, northwest of St. Louis, hailstorms and howling winds rattled homes. The golf ball-sized hail pummeling this gas station in Cuba, Missouri. Throughout the day, torrential downpours swelled rivers and flooded roads in Kansas City, stranding some drivers in several feet of water.
New Jersey Congressman Thomas Kane Jr. made his first public statement in weeks.
The Republican last voted in the House almost 2 months ago. In a new statement, the 57-year-old Kane says he expects to make a full recovery from what he called a personal medical issue, but he did not say what the issue is or when he might return to Capitol Hill. He says his team has kept his constituent services and legislative work moving forward without interruption. Kane is in a tight re-election battle in New Jersey. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
As the U.S.-Iran standoff continues, the United Arab Emirates announced last hour it will leave OPEC May 1st. It's been a member of the oil cartel for more than 50 years. The Gulf state was targeted by Iranian missiles and drones for weeks. The UAE has been the third largest oil producer behind Saudi Arabia and Iraq. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Mornings.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
At 8:03, we have cloudy skies, 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, April 28th. I'm Megan Lynch. Thousands of Ackerman customers in Missouri and Illinois still in the dark this morning. About 5,000 Illinois customers without power. That number small in comparison to more than 21,000 Missouri customers who still don't have power. The bulk of those outages are reported in St. Louis County. At the peak of last night's storms, 32,000 customers in Missouri, 16,000 in Illinois were without electricity. Ferguson's city manager, Dave Musgrave, in a Facebook post says there's a significant storm damage throughout his city, but no injuries. At this time, we have confirmed at least 6 downed trees, including 2 that have fallen onto structures. Power outages reported along the West Florissant business corridor and numerous power lines down throughout the city. They're asking if you can avoid travel in Ferguson today to do that. The Missouri Rural Water Association has awarded its highest honor for the best tasting water in the state.
Jefferson County Public Water Supply District Number 2 took top honors in this year's Show Me Tap Water Roundup contest. It'll now compete in the nationwide Great American Water Taste Test next February to determine which state has the best tasting water. Sue Danielson, Missouri Net.
There's a new state-of-the-art police station in Maryland Heights for the St. Louis County Central Police Precinct. It's been in the works for several years. It's named in honor of St. Louis County Police Detective Antonio Valentine, who died in the line of duty December 2021. Chief Kenneth Gregory.
I'll never forget that day. My last day with St. Louis County Police Department will be Thursday, April the 30th. And that is also the birthday of Antonio Valentine. Another day that I won't forget.
Gregory told Detective Valentine's family the new 2nd Precinct will always have Antonio Valentine's name on it. The woman charged in connection with the fatal Steak and Shake shooting set to appear in court today. A judge expected to deliberate a reduction of 20-year-old Jada Bell's $1 million cash-only bond. Bell's charged with first-degree murder, assault, unlawful use of a weapon, and 3 counts of armed criminal action in connection with the drive-through killing April 8th. Today's hearing scheduled for 10 a.m. The St. Louis County prosecutor offering you a way to get out of paying for old traffic offenses. Prosecuting attorney Melissa Price-Smith says all you have to do is take a certified education course.
Once they complete this class successfully, the infraction is dismissed. They don't get points on their license, and ultimately, their insurance is not increased.
Price-Smith tells KMOX's Total Information AM the office is facing a 6,000 ticket backlog of minor traffic offenses dating back to 2021. One note, DWIs and other serious violations are not part of the program. St. Charles residents could start seeing drones arrive to the scene of 911 calls. The St. Charles County Council considering a program that would allow drones to assist first responders. Police say the drones can fly 3 miles in 90 seconds and would give them a better view of a scene before first responders arrive. That's according to our partners at Fox 2. The plan expected to be discussed at tonight's City Council meeting. An iconic athletic brand, which you may not have even known had a plant here, is handing out pink slips.
Nike is cutting 172 jobs at its Air Sole manufacturing facility in St. Charles County this summer. The company filed a WARN Act notice confirming the cuts at its Air Manufacturing Innovation plant on Research Park Drive in St. Charles. They'll take effect on June 26th. The cuts are part of a broader round of 1,400 layoffs Nike announced this week. The struggling athletic giant recently saw its stock hit an 11-year low after disappointing earnings and declining sales in China. The St. Charles facility has been a part of Nike's specialized manufacturing footprint in this metro area since 1995, making the air sole units that go into some of the company's most iconic shoes. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
From the KMOX Business Desk, Evertrue Crossroads at Bevo Mill officially opening later this week. The senior housing development at Gravois and Morganford is already 70% leased. There's a big demand for affordable housing in the city for seniors, with Evertrue's waiting list about 2 to 3 years long. The Post-Dispatch reports about 18% of those 65 and older in the city live below the poverty line. It's now 8:07. We'll get a check of traffic and weather together coming up in 2 minutes. And then we're going to talk about the history of Budweiser. That lager is celebrating its 150th year. Tracy Lauer, Director of Archives and Chief Storytelling Officer at Anheuser-Busch, is going to join me in studio after traffic and weather.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids' crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin.
We're starting a program here in the upper GI space called PREVENT. That's the acronym, and it's really aimed at trying to detect these cancers early and even to kind of, reverse them and understand kind of the science behind why they form.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM, the news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10. Let's see how things are moving on the roads with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're busy. If you're traveling in, coming out from the Wentzville area, Megan, good news there. They did clear that crash or stall, whatever it was we had southbound 61 just before 64. Still a bit of a jam from approaching Highway P about midway down to Wentzville Parkway, but hopefully it'll continue to improve there. Northbound 270, you're still slow, pretty much from Tenson Ferry all the way up to Ladue. South 270, just midway down from 364 Olive is the only busy part there. Eastbound 64, still got a little bit of a backup coming in from Boone's Crossing. It looks like there's an incident just past Andy Gunn, so it's jammed. And after you get around that, you're good to go till you get to Lindbergh. It's slow, Lindbergh into Big Bend. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley, typical slow traffic. 44 eastbound, the right lane on the Merrimack River Bridge, a minor crash. Folks seem to be getting around it okay. Elmdale Cleat Station is a little busy, though. Northbound 55, Union Road overpass all the way up through Holly Hills. Southbound Gasconade Bates area, roadwork delay there. Westbound 64 on the brakes, 50 through 159. It looks like Route 3 at Queenie, a train crossing. Jams both directions there. Northbound's backed up between Jerome and Judith. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today will be much cooler than recent days, with intervals of clouds and sun being guard for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, high 66. Cloudy early tonight with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm for a while, then lingering clouds late tonight and becoming breezy, though 51. Tomorrow will turn out partly sunny, breezy, cool, high 64. The cool day Thursday, sunshine mixing with clouds, high 65. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have cloudy skies, 57 degrees in Florissant. It's 53 in St. Peters and 57 downtown at the Arch. celebrating 150 years this year. Let's look at the history of Anheuser-Busch and this iconic lager with Tracy Lauer. She's Director of Archives and Chief Storytelling Officer at Anheuser-Busch. Thank you so much for being with me this morning.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
And you brought the special 150th anniversary can, and have everybody note who's watching on YouTube that it is closed.
Yes.
I've not cracked it open yet, as tempted as I may be. You know, when we look at the history of this product and this brewery, there were a lot of other large breweries in America at this time. What distinguished the Budweiser brand?
I think the thing that really distinguished Anheuser-Busch was that we were a small brewery founded here in St. Louis, and we decided to have these wonderful brands that were iconic in the St. Louis area, but really focusing on getting outside of the St. Louis area and distributing Budweiser all over the world from the very beginning, more than 150 years ago.
What were the challenges of that at first?
I think there were a lot of challenges. You know, initially brewing was such a small scale business. We needed to really rely on technologies like pasteurization and using refrigerated rail cars and railside ice houses to really make sure that when we got beer in the hands of consumers, they had a really good experience.
How did the brewery develop as the Industrial Revolution hit? You know, how did that change operations?
Yeah, I think people were really focused on brewing in the area that they were and distributing the beers here in that local area. And then ultimately, when the Industrial Revolution started taking on, we started really focusing on finding ways to get outside of the St. Louis area and making sure that our beers were in the hands of consumers all over the world. So I think really focusing on those technologies and relying on the wonderful people that were here in order to brew and package our products, it was something that was really significant for us.
Talk about the consistency of this recipe, that it has lasted throughout the century.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible that we've really relied on that recipe that was introduced 150 years ago and making sure, again, that whether you're drinking beer here in St. Louis or you're drinking it in another country, it tastes the same. And I think that's something that's really significant and really important to the brand.
I think also what goes hand in hand with the beer and that what that brings us is the marketing. And that started really, really early when we talk about the Clydesdales.
Yeah, definitely. Anheuser-Busch has been very great at marketing and specifically for the Budweiser brand, really latching onto things that really impact consumers and really meet them where they are. And when the Clydesdales were introduced at the end of Prohibition in 1933, it was something that just really caught on. It was a throwback idea. Remember the good old days when we used to have to deliver our beer with horses and wagons? We want to get back to those good old days. And the Clydesdales are just wonderful ambassadors for the company and definitely for the brand.
Are there any quirky or unusual things about some of those early days that people might not know about?
I think the most interesting thing that people might not know about is that beers originally, when they were first introduced in bottles, they were corked. The bottle cap wasn't invented until 1891. So oftentimes you'll find these wonderful pieces that advertise and market the brand that might be cork pulls. And people might get confused as to why is Anheuser-Busch distributing things that, look like they would open a bottle of wine. No, those early bottles were corked. So that's a really good way to date a piece. If you look at an early Budweiser bottle and it has a cork top, it predates the 1900s. We started experimenting with that new invention, the bottle cap, around 1903, and then switched solely to the bottle cap about 1913. So I think those things are interesting.
When did aluminum cans come in?
Aluminum cans really didn't come out until the 1960s when beer was canned for the very first time in 1936 for Anheuser-Busch, for Budweiser specifically. They were steel cans. So they were 3-piece steel cans, and then the aluminum can didn't make its way onto the market till the 1960s.
Was that controversial at all as far as maybe affecting the flavor or the experience for the drinker?
I think that's why it took Anheuser-Busch so long to introduce Budweiser in cans. We wanted to make sure that the metal didn't impart any taste on the brands. There were other brewers that were canning beer prior to Anheuser-Busch, and we didn't come out with Budweiser in cans until 1936 for that exact reason.
You're listening to Tracy Lauer. She is Director of Archives and the Chief Storytelling Officer at Anheuser-Busch. Of course, we're talking about Budweiser 150th anniversary celebration that's going to be taking place this year, May 17th at the brewery. We'll give you more details on how you can take part of that in just a moment. We talked about the recipe. Let's talk about the ingredients and the relationship that this brewery has had with farmers and, big agriculture across the United States.
Yeah, I think Anheuser-Busch has always had a huge focus on making sure that we're sourcing the best ingredients. And so that definitely is working with local farmers and making sure that we're getting things that are the freshest. to be able to put into our beers. So we've always had a really incredible relationship with farmers and individuals that provide us those products. It's something that's really important to Anheuser-Busch to make sure that we're focusing on sourcing the best ingredients to make the best beers in the world.
When it comes to being a partner in this community, what do you feel like Anheuser-Busch really means to St. Louis and its development since the Industrial Revolution?
I think Anheuser-Busch is a huge part of the local community. We have a lot of employees that work at Anheuser-Busch. I grew up in South City, and so, definitely was excited to go work at the brewery, and was definitely a big part of my life growing up. And I think it's important not just in the sense of being part of the local community and providing the opportunity for people to work there, but also having that wonderful impact on the community and being involved in certain areas, whether that's with fundraising or with, helping with emergency drinking water, all of those things and being an important part of the community is really significant.
What's maybe one more favorite story that you have about the history of Budweiser?
One of my favorite stories, I think, is really finding different pieces that we have within the archives collection. We have about 43,000 three-dimensional objects, and we have about 2,300 linear feet of documents. So that's, if you take all of our documents and stack them up, it's like 3.5 times the size of the Gateway Arch. So we have a lot of paper documents and photographs. But one of the things that we have within the collection are these wonderful photos of employees that worked at Anheuser-Busch. And if you've ever done any genealogy work in your life, we don't have a lot of photos of painters and carpenters, but Anheuser-Busch set up these very elaborate stages and had an opportunity for employees that were just, workers at the brewery to have their photograph taken. So I love looking through those old photos and thinking about, this might be the only photo this person had ever had taken in their entire lives, and how wonderful it is that we have this great collection of these beautiful photos. We have a lot of those on display in our museum on campus, so it's just fun to think about those.
All right. So for folks who want to take part in the celebration, again, it's May 17th from 3 to 10 p.m. General ticket sales have already been underway. You can go to budweiser.com/celebration. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think it's us.budweiser.com. But yeah, definitely go check it out. It's going to be an incredible way to celebrate.
All right. Tracy, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming in studio this morning.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, that is Tracy Lauer. She is Chief Storytelling Officer at Anheuser-Busch. Coming up, we are going to talk with Dave Murray. Of course, yesterday we did get some severe storms, maybe not quite as bad as was predicted, which is a great thing, but still there's a ton of people without power this morning. Dave Murray is going to join me at 8:24 to talk about what we saw and what could be coming up next this spring. Let's get a check now of the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we still have this minor, looks like a crash on eastbound 44 at the Merrimack River. This traffic reports service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, so they still have the right lane blocked. But again, traffic's light enough there on eastbound 44 that folks are getting around it okay. If you're on northbound 270, around the Sappington Road overpass approaching Gravaway, it's still slow all the way up to Ladue. If you're on eastbound 64, there's still a little slowdown passing Boone's Crossing. We had an incident east of Andy Guns. They cleared it, so it's better there. It's still slow east of Lindbergh all the way to Big Bend. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's heavy. Northbound 55, Bayless up through Weber toward Holly Hills is still heavy. A little backup approaching Bates. Southbound 55 due to road work. Westbound 64, 50 through 159, you're on the brakes. And still short backups both ways. Route 3 at Queenie. Northbound still backed up between Jerome and Judith. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Much different day today than we had yesterday, but we could still see a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, a high of 66. Otherwise, we'll see a mix of clouds and sun tonight. A couple of showers and thunderstorms around early, then cloudy late, breezy with an overnight low of 51. Breezy and cool tomorrow, a high 64. We have cloudy skies now, 57 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Hey, this is Tom Ackerman. Here's something that most people don't realize about estate planning. The documents alone aren't enough. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm here in St. Louis for over 20 years. And one of the things I really appreciate is that I don't just work with one person, I work with a team. I've dealt with several different people at Lederman Law Firm over the years, and you can tell right away it's a true team, from lawyers to paralegals to legal assistants. Everyone knows the plan. Everyone is working towards the same goal. You never feel like you're being handed off or forgotten. Their dedicated funding team makes sure our assets and beneficiaries are actually lined up with our plan, our accounts, our property, all of it working together the way it's supposed to. That is the Laterman Law Firm, a team that walks you through the process asset by asset, and we trust them. The Laterman Law Firm, latermanlaw.com, or call 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection.
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mira Fiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mira Fiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're back with Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Roughly 20,000 customers still without power in St. Louis County, roughly 2,000 in the dark in Clinton County, Illinois. Let's see how things evolved late yesterday afternoon and evening with the storms that came through. I'm joined by meteorologist Dave Murray. Dave, I don't want to downplay, but this could have been a lot worse.
Oh, absolutely. It really got hyped out of control as far as I'm concerned. It was certainly a solid, severe storm event for the St. Louis area, but it's also late April and getting into May. This is what we're supposed to have when these thunderstorms break out like this.
What do we know about some possible tornado touchdowns that we've heard about in Illinois, specifically Clinton County?
Yeah, we don't know a lot yet because you don't get any storm, survey teams out there while the storms are going on. The storms calmed down fairly late in the evening last night. So the survey teams will be going out and try to distinguish, was it straight line winds? And there were definitely straight line winds up to 60 to 80 miles per hour, or were they tornadic winds? We had probably about 6 or 7 tornado warnings go out. That does not mean there were necessarily 6 or 7 tornadoes that came on the ground. That was mainly radar indicated, and that it was rotation on the radar that we were looking at. And in many of those cases, it was not a super solid signature of a tornado, but it was enough to put a warning out. So the survey teams go out, they look at the type of damage, how the damage is laying on the ground, how strong the winds might have been can be estimated very, very well. And then we can distinguish tornado, straight line winds. Not that it makes a big difference to a homeowner because the damage can be very similar. It's just the way the damage lies out on the ground.
So is this pretty typical for spring, or did you see anything that gives you pause?
No, in my book, this was classic St. Louis late April thunderstorms. Just classic.
It was a lot of hype, but is it good that people seem to be taking more precautions yesterday?
It's always good that people take precautions. No questions about that. I do think that when you're talking 7 days out from an event, that it's going to be the end of the world or the worst thunderstorm outbreak ever, I don't buy into that stuff. I never have. And if you do say that kind of stuff, then you're not aware of history at all. You're not aware that this was nowhere near, the worst outbreak ever in the midsection of the country or for St. Louis. I mean, even in St. Louis, people have lived here for a while know, we've had a lot worse than that, a lot worse.
Has forecasting and modeling gotten more accurate, though?
I think modeling has gotten out of control. There's about 10 different models, and then there's offshoots of those models, and then you can make comparisons, and you can make comparisons from model run to model run. Is that a lot of so-called forecasting is that you're just looking at models. You're looking at computer outputs, and that's not forecasting. That's not rolling up your sleeves and really seeing what's going on in the atmosphere. And you can use the modeling. There's no question about that. You want to look at it, but you don't want to take it hook, line, and sinker, because if you do that, you're probably going to get in trouble.
So for today, much more quiet.
Yes, but there's a secondary cold front coming in, and it's not going to be anything like the cold front that came through last night. It's going to be a much weaker front. It's going to really establish the northwest flow rather than anything else. And that could trigger a couple of showers and thunder showers around late this afternoon into the evening and overnight hours. I do not anticipate anything severe, but there will be some thunderstorms around. Then that opens up the northwest flow, and we're actually going to be a little chilly come Wednesday night, going down to about 44 degrees. Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday look beautiful.
Dave, thank you so much. Appreciate all
You
your
got it.
time. All right.
Anytime.
That is meteorologist Dave Murray joining us this morning here on Total Information AM. It's now 8:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Let's talk about Air Medical memberships. In an emergency, you don't choose who transports you. Dispatch sends the closest, most appropriate aircraft. Here's what matters: speed, skill, advanced care. Like critical care crews trained for the toughest moments. Like onboard blood that can make the difference between life and death. Arch Air Medical Service delivers life-saving air medical care across Effingham and surrounding communities. When you call for help, we bring hospital-level care to you. Plus, we're part of Air Methods, the nation's largest air medical provider. And about the cost, the No Surprises Act protects patients with private health insurance from unexpected out-of-network air ambulance bills. You're only responsible for your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. Medicare and Medicaid patients have similar protections. No surprise bills, no balance billing, no membership required. Because when it's your life on the line, what matters isn't membership, it's medicine. Learn more at airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
8:30, time for another check of the roads on this Tuesday morning. Roger Brand has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they got the flatbed tow truck on the scene now, Megan, for this minor crash. I guess it is on eastbound 44, just before before you get to 270 on the Merrimack River Bridge. Right lane, traffic's a little slow, but it's not going to hold you up much at all, really. Just stay out of that right lane as you get through there. Northbound 270, north of Gravois, as heavy at stop and go through 44, but it just remains off the pace all the way up to Ladue. Eastbound 64, Clarkson in through 141 to about Maryville Center. Looks like we have a stall or an accident there. Then Lindbergh all the way into Big Bend delays. Westbound 64 Science Center out to Hanley slow. 55 northbound Bayless up through Holly Hills area, Virginia. Southbound at Bates is a little heavy. Still have that backup. Route 3 at Queenie both ways jammed because of a train crossing. Westbound 64 slow. 50 through 159, but it's okay across the Poplar. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it looks like we may see some more showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. A high today of 66, a low of 51. Right now, cloudy, 57 downtown at the Arch.
Brought to you by Staples.
Want a great way to boost your brand? Custom labels at Staples will help packages pop, shipments stand out, and takeout boxes really take off. Shop now through April 18th and save 30% on all custom labels. Staples, that was easy.
We're learning a lot more about the online posts of Cole Thomas Allen, the man charged with trying to kill President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner back in 2022. Allen posted largely on X about video games and told users to check out his YouTube channel. By 2024, archived tweets show him resharing political content from other users, including ones that compared President Trump to Hitler. Odyssey's Brian Douglas got more from social media expert Karen North.
Ordinarily, when you see somebody who goes to such extremes as, an assassination attempt or other aberrant behavior, you're usually looking at something beyond normal. You're looking at people who have other deeper problems. By the way, I'm a psychologist also, so I look at this from that vantage point. But what you see sometimes is that the kinds of things that we all do in our, angry rhetoric or our polarized discussions can be taken to greater extremes or more action by people who have deeper problems.
Is social media to blame? Is it people that may have seen his post that didn't say anything? Where do we place the blame for all this?
And the problem with people who saw his post who didn't say anything is that a lot of people speak out with a lot of anger these days, and there's a big difference between people who use angry, hostile, vitriolic, even action-oriented rhetoric and people who actually act on it. I mean, how can you tell? You've got to give credit to the, FBI and people like that who are able to figure out who a threat is and who just an angry person is. But on the, who's to blame? We have such polarized comments and statements made all over the place these days. Everything from the, the polarized television commentary to the polarized social media commentary, to the gameplay. And, again, you take people who are more vulnerable to picking up on that energy. For generations now, we've known that watching violent media, like watching violence, can lead to people being more inclined to act with violence, especially if it's relevant to their daily lives. Then we have games where people sort of rehearse the violence. And you add that to this sort of very angry, very personal rhetoric that we see these days. And certainly our sort of cultural moment is feeding into some of these people who are acting on their feelings.
We see a lot of that on social media. Before I let you go, Karen, is there an algorithm with social media that alerts officials if the algorithm picks up too much potential violence or potential, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. The way that it generally works is that something might be flagged either by other users, by moderators, or by the algorithm. But then there's usually, most platforms have a team of people called the trust and safety team, and it will be elevated to those human beings who will look to see if something looks like an actual threat. And those human beings report things to the authorities.
That's Karen North, psychologist and social media expert at the University of Southern California. Your Money Report next.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano. Our St. Louis Baseball Cardinals reset last season. Now they're planning for the long term. Have you thought about a long-term plan for your family? A will, a trust, powers of attorney? Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano can guide you with a personalized estate plan. Sign up for our free webinar on our website, yourestateMatters.com. Learn more about estate planning, get some answers, list your questions, then schedule a consultation. You can plan for your family, your favorite charities, taxes, your long-term care, and even your pets now, before the courts do it for you later. Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Your Money Report now it's sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Smaller sizes and higher prices helping Coca-Cola's first quarter sales beat Wall Street expectations. The results show Coca-Cola's efforts to win over consumers with healthier alternatives to full sugar soda, such as zero sugar and diet drinks, are paying off. Smaller size bottles and cans are also helping drive growth as consumers spend more carefully due to rising energy prices. ChatGPT maker OpenAI failed to meet its own goals for new users and sales, according to the Wall Street Journal, raising internal concerns about its ability to continue its spending spree on artificial intelligence infrastructure. S&P futures are under pressure this morning. And airlines have been trying to handle the sharp increase in the price of fuel. JetBlue says it's trimming more flights and stepping up cost cuts. The company lowered its spending plan for the year by about $100 million. Airlines across the board have been rethinking their growth plans and trimming unprofitable routes. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Step into a fresher, cleaner home this spring with Zero Res. Spring is a time for renewal. Let Zero Res help you refresh your home with clean carpets, fresh floors, and improved air quality. Check out all of the Raven customer reviews online with a 4.9 Google rating. This week, buy one room of carpet cleaned, get one room of carpet cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms. Call 314-474-2020 or go online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
840, let's check if there's any improvement in some areas on the roads. Roger Brand has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there is on 44, Megan. This traffic report is service on McKelvey Homes. They cleared that crash on the Merrimack River Bridge. Lanes are open there. But I did mention that crash last time up on eastbound 64 between 141 and Maryville Center. It's blocking the ramp from 141 getting onto eastbound 64. And drivers on 64 are slowing for a look. So that's why you're backed up from Clarkson through that point between 141 and Maryville Center. After that, McKnight to Big Bend's is kind of slow. Westbound 64, Hampton to Big Bend heavy. South 170 just bogged down at Brentwood now. Northbound 270 north of Gravois up through 64 is still pretty busy. Northbound 55 is slow down from Bayless up through Holly Hills. Southbound a little bit of a backup at Bates. Still seeing delays, not as bad, but Route 3 at Queenie, it looks like southbound more so than northbound. Northbound's in pretty decent shape. And westbound 64, just some heavy traffic, both sides of 159. The McKelvey Homes Spring Event is one of the best offers they've had in years. Rates as low as 4.75% and savings of up to $124,000 on move-in ready homes. The event ends May 31st. Schedule your tour today at McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
A mix of clouds and sun today. Cooler, a shower, thunderstorm still possible this afternoon. Expect a high of 66. We have cloudy skies, 57 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I would say about every week, I get a story pitch, an article about how AI is going to impact jobs, or maybe about how the job market is tight. There's a lot of anxiety out there right now about how to stay relevant in your career. And I think many people feel like our expertise or seniority does not protect us anymore. My next guest is an executive leadership coach and author, Mary Olson Menzel. Her book, What Lights You Up, Illuminate Your Path and Take the Next Big Step in Your Career. Good morning. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning.
I've had a lot of conversations lately about what it takes to adapt and reinvent yourself. And at the end of a lot of these conversations, people end up like, we're all exhausted, just even thinking about how we navigate this. Do you hear the same thing?
Oh gosh, absolutely, Megan. It is a daunting world out there when people are looking for jobs. I mean, there's so much happening with the black hole of a resume database to AI and what to use and what not to use and how to go about it in this brave new world that we're in.
Why doesn't seniority seem to matter as much anymore?
Well, I think it's very interesting because people are either really respecting seniority and understanding what seniority brings to the table, you know, the relationships and things like that. Or they're saying we need somebody who understands, you know, AI and understands technology. And if the people in leadership positions are not keeping up with that, they kind of get pushed to the really tough.
Let's look at maybe some of those skill sets, for example, that some of us may have had a decade ago. And what are the skill sets that are relevant now?
Yes, well, the skill sets that never go out of style and continue to be evergreen are really around your people leader skills, around being an empathetic, creative leader. All those human attributes that we have are the things that AI can't take away from us, but we also have to understand that we need to be able to utilize and use technology to the best of our abilities and understand it so that we can lead at every level and every generation.
In talking with a lot of people, when we talk about this idea of reinventing ourselves, I don't know if people know the best way to go about that. Do you go back to college? Do you get new certifications? Do you completely change your direction? You know, what does that look like?
The first thing that it starts with, Megan, is getting very clear on where you are today and where you want to go in the future. So if you don't have a good handle on where you are today, what's working for you right now, but also have that dream of where you want to go, it's kind of hard because then you don't have a path. So really understanding what's driving you, what's lighting you up. There's this thing in the book that it's a Japanese word called ikigai. And it is all around, translated to English, it's your reason for being. And it's this beautiful Venn diagram of what you're good at, what you love to do, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. And so if you can start to think about your next step in your career or, you know, pivoting into whatever might be next to light you up, you really can think about ikigai, right? What are the talents and the skills that I'm bringing to the table? What do I love to do? But also, where's the gaps? Where can I actually fill a need in the world? And then can I get paid for it? When we're doing what we love, you know, I mean, you're a perfect example. You and I are perfect examples, right? You're doing what you love. You get to have these interesting conversations with people on a daily basis. So do I. But when we're doing what we love, it doesn't feel like work. And we can also start to really embrace it. And when we're looking at, okay, where are the times in my day when I'm in the flow? Where are the times in my day where I actually feel like I have purpose and meaning? Those are the places that I want to help guide people to get more of. Because then you don't get those Sunday scaries. You know, and Monday mornings don't feel daunting anymore.
What are some big don'ts when it comes to this process?
The first thing I would say is don't ever think that you're stuck, right? You might be feeling stuck, but there's always a way out with the proper preparation, with the proper tools, with the proper strategy. And it's hard when I see clients and they're lost and don't feel the light at the end of the tunnel, no pun intended, right? Literally, it's just so hard for them to see outside of their own purview. And so what I try to do is just say, open your eyes and look around, right? There are ways that you can even look, if you're feeling stuck in your job in the company, but you like the company, look around and see what other people are doing, and see if you can learn a little bit more about, if you're in marketing, maybe you want to go into sales, something like that. Start to shadow and find mentors and find people who can actually help you determine what direction you want to go from here.
If we love our current job and we want to stay relevant, how do we try to add those skills that we need without maybe taking on too much that takes away from what we're doing?
Yes. Well, so the first place I would look is within your own organization, right? What do they offer to you? Do they offer training? Do they offer coaching? Do they offer ways that you can grow within your own organization? That's the first place to look. And then if they don't, then you take, you are in the driver's seat of your own career. So you take the matters into your own hands and start to look, is there a local community college where I can take a class? Is there, any kind of organization outside of where you are right now that you can ask, maybe even say, wow, I found this amazing class. Would you guys be willing to pay for this? And if they're not, then use your own money. Do it, because it's worthwhile so that you can keep growing in your career, and staying relevant is so important.
That is Mary Olson Menzel, author of What Lights You Up, What It Takes to Stay Relevant in Your Career, joining us this morning here on Total Information AM. Coming up next, the protein craze could help crop farmers. I'll get more from Reuters commodity reporter Heather Schlitz.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Exterior of your home, Tom Ackerman with you. Siding and windows, two things that can make your home look like the best home in the neighborhood. It just makes a huge difference. And the best in the business is Banner Construction. Since 1993, they have been the best when it comes to Pella windows. They're a Pella window specialist. They're a preferred James Hardie contractor. They are Banner Construction. You don't want to go with a company that doesn't entirely know what it's doing, or tries to cut corners, or hasn't been around for a very long time. 1993 is when they started, so over 30 years of excellence. Go online and see for yourself all the great examples at bannerconstruction.com. Banner Construction will come over to your home. They'll give you a free in-home consultation. You're going to love their team. I really appreciate Banner Construction and what they do here in St. Louis. Visit them online, bannerconstruction.com, 314-569-1050, and have a banner day.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Presented by Worldwide Technology, the Biz-5K is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, a high-energy corporate race in St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Thursday, May 7th at Energizer Park. Register your team at STLBizDash.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
I'm Megan Lynch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. Farmers struggling with high costs and low prices for their crops, thanks in part to high yields. But some are hoping the current protein craze can be an area for growth. Heather Schlitz covers commodity markets and agriculture for Reuters. And she joins me now here on Total Information AM. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. We used to think primarily of meat when we talked about protein sources, but farmers are looking at other things as you've been reporting. What are you hearing?
So I'm hearing that there's massive demand for lentils and peas and chickpeas because it's used in all of these protein-enriched products. So when you see protein soda or protein chocolate or whatever in your grocery stores, a lot of that is made from these, vegetable sources of protein. And that's a huge boon for farmers this year.
What crops are farmers swapping for things like peas and lentils and chickpeas?
So a lot of them are not planting as much wheat this year, in part because wheat prices are so low because of a global oversupply of the grain, and also just really high costs of fertilizer and diesel, which has been ramped up because of the Iran war.
When it comes to the cost for planting those kind of crops, how does it compare to what farmers are already planting?
So the input cost, which is the cost to put the seeds into the ground, is relatively low because the seeds are kind of cheap. They don't require much fertilizer where, prices are going through the roof for that because the plants put nitrogen into the soil on their own. And it's overall a really cost-effective and, high-priced plant for farmers to grow.
Do those farmers have to change their equipment or processes much to plant those and harvest them?
There are some changes, as I understand, but for a lot of farmers, it's worth it to make those swaps out so that they can, actually make a profit this year.
What is the potential profit when you compare it to things like wheat, where, there is a glut in the market?
Yeah, so one farmer in rural Montana told us that he will lose about $35 per every acre of wheat that he plants, but he'll make $8 per acre of lentils. So it can be a super profitable thing. And that's, thanks to the rise of GLP-1s and this kind of American obsession with protein.
So when we look at this obsession and the type of products that these so-called pulses are used in, what are you seeing the demand for?
So there's a lot of demand for products like snack foods that are higher in protein than normal food would be. So people might be opting for protein-enriched Cheerios instead of regular Cheerios, or protein tortilla chips instead of regular ones. And a lot of that added protein comes from these plants. And also people on GLP-1 feel that they need more protein in their diet to try to prevent muscle loss, which is a common side effect of these weight loss drugs.
Is there concern, though, that this is just a trend and it won't really be a long-lasting solution for farmers right now?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of researchers told me that the average person in the U.S. already eats more than enough protein than they need to. And that this, it could be kind of a trend like any other trend on TikTok or on social media. So it could very well peter out just like a lot of other health and diet trends do.
Heather, are there any parts of the country where you're seeing this more than others? Is it primarily the Midwest?
So a lot of it is, in North Dakota and Montana and Wyoming, where these kinds of pulses can be grown. And, not as much in Chicago, which is where I live, or, in the Plains states and stuff like that.
We used to hear about soy as such a great protein source. Is it not as popular? Why the shift from maybe soy to things like lentils and chickpeas?
So soy protein isolate is sometimes used in these products, but it's not as popular because peas do have more protein than soy, and the cost of putting peas in the ground is quite a bit lower than soy. And also a lot of the soybeans in the U.S., they don't go towards food products that we eat. They go towards animal feed, for pigs and, animals like that.
Well, Heather, thank you so much for joining us and telling us more about this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
That is Heather Schlitz. She covers commodity markets and agriculture for Reuters, joining us this morning here on KMOX. Make sure you listen tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. We're going to talk about a new group. It's led by some younger people in St. Charles. It's called Stewards of St. Charles, and they're trying to create some political change for the community. A little bit different philosophy, so make sure you tune in tomorrow. That's at 8:11. Also going to talk with KMOX legal analyst Brad Young tomorrow. Couple of things on his docket, as it were. We're going to talk about the Roundup case that's before the Supreme Court. And also, we're going to tell you about a case involving Taylor Swift.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
Exercise can help ease depression. An update to the Cochrane database of systematic